Adrenaline Rockstar Energy Drink. There's Matt Waller, Twin Turbo 350Z. Tanner Fast going through the paces. Solid line here. Great angle.
Woo! Good initiation from Dot. Did you see that fake flick entry? Just gangster right there.
Great job right there by Osmo, but look at Odie Bocci's diving right in on the attack and
Positioning now. Ryan Turf really needs to show up. He went off course. Tightens it up to the front clip. As is Freddie. The Norwegian hammer gets sweated by Denofa. And then he just keeps on going past. And Frederick Osmo fills all that outside zone. Michael, that's a right there. Looking at roll tide. Here we go. Final outside zone line. Pretty straightforward.
Outside zone. Frederick Osmo right there. And now bring her on that final clip. Approaching, pulling some tire up.
so qualifying playing a role here in Long.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
In my 1,000 horsepower competition drift car, I use Royal Purple XPR 5W50. XPR is specifically formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance and racing engines. And its revolutionary Cinderlick additive technology and zinc phosphorus fortified formulation provides the highest level of protection against heat and wear. The new 550 is all killer, no filler. It has better high temperature performance than any other 2050 engine oil. The result is a performance oil that protects like no other, utilizing superior base oils and additives. It's what sets Royal Purple apart from the rest, and what is also transferred down to their HPS high-performance street oil, which is what I run in my daily drifter. So from here to here, all you get is extreme performance from the synthetic experts. Royal Purple.
At O'Reilly Auto Parts, we know how important it is for your car to look sharp and run well. And we're here to make that as simple as possible. Get all the parts, accessories, and tools you'll need for your next project delivered right to your doorstep. Just place your order online and leave the rest to us. You'll have everything you need at your door with free shipping the very next day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Top 32 competitors are ready to go at Worldwide Technology Raceway near St. Louis.
Take your best.
Everybody, this is round, let's do the math here, 5. Oh my gosh, it's round 5. That's right. It's round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We have 6, 7, 8 because we got Seattle, we got Utah, and we have Irwindale to crown our 2022 Formula Drift champion. I am Jared Deenda. Welcome to Worldwide Technology Raceway, live from Madison, Illinois, just in the shadow of the St. Louis Arch, just across the MSIIPPI Mississippi River. Beside me is Ryan Lontaine. Ryan Lontaine is back in the building, had a hiatus there in New Jersey, had an event that was a conflict, but back in the saddle, both announcing and judging. Ryan Lontaine, wetting the whistle there, getting some water and getting prepped for an action-packed day, because not only do we have pro qualifying, but we also have pro spec, which saw qualifying yesterday, but it'll be top 32 exclusively today. How
For
you doing?
better or worse, I'm back, Jared.
No,
Here I am.
I think it's great. So it's going to turn on those lights. Make sure. Did your makeup all good? There you are. So
They touched me up earlier.
yeah, I think it looks great. What are your expectations coming to this round? Again, New Jersey happened. You weren't there, but we saw just the first ever purpose-built drift coliseum being utilized. A little wet, a little dry, but overall, I'm going to kind of segue into this track. Very unassuming at first glance, New Jersey, but then ended up being very tumultuous. Kind of similar here. You have 4 outside zones. We'll get into the track, but what are your expectations for this weekend?
I'm looking forward to qualifying. Last night with Pro Spec, it was a little bit more challenging for them. We're looking for a much higher driving level, let's say, during Pro here. Hopefully everything holds together weather-wise, and we're going to see some great qualifying. But then we get into Pro Spec competition, where I think is where they're really going to come alive and show us what they're capable of.
Yeah, pro drivers have been running practice throughout this morning, and Ryan, you touched on it briefly. Literally, it's just hot, right? So it's just hot. The cloud cover, it just kind of seals in the moisture, so it's moist. Let's just call it what it is. It's a little hot, and it is humid as the track is being lined out by your other judges there, Chris Ewell and Brian Eggert. So we talked about, you say the weather, if it holds off, it says 90% for like 10 minutes. So if it sprinkles, that's really just going to be annoying, right?
Yep.
Look at the standings this year. Matt Field leads the pack after a halfway point, right? Because this is round 5. Frederick Osbo just 4 points behind him. Chris Forsberg still in contention after debuting that brand new car. And if you can remember Osbo debuting his car, he got the win in Long Beach. So, and then Ryan Turk sits in 4th and Chelsea Denofa in 5th. The variety there. You got a Vet, Supra, Z, Toyota Corolla, and a Ford Mustang. They walk into a bar. Who's going to come out on top? That's, part of the reason it's so tight is Dylan Hughes in Orlando, which was, I think, Ryan Sage, no offense to you, we've been around since day one. We said that was the wildest, crazy event we've ever had, from weather to rain to all that. The emotions talking about the weather, the rain coming from his eyes. He's acting like a little baby. I'm joking. But he gets his first ever win. That was really awesome. And then, just in New Jersey, Travis Reeder, who coincidentally, Hughes and Reeder are great friends.
Yeah, it looks like they put together a heck of a battle here. And the last, this was the finals, right?
Yeah, that was the finals.
It was pretty exciting to watch. I did get to watch this one. It looked pretty exciting. And I hope we bring that level of excitement into St. Louis.
I think we really will, because what's great about these is we have a flat track, so there's no banks, there's no kind of slamming down. The cars, attrition-wise, I think the biggest element here is the weather. We've already seen a few engines pop. Dean Carney, saw Simon Olsen, his engine was out of the car. Darren Kelly and then Aston Martin, the engine's out of that car.
Yep.
So it's all about keeping the engine together. But this was a great celebratory moment for Travis Reeder, Rome Charpentier. He gets up on the box, and Chelsea Nova rounds out that top 3. Here's the schedule. So here we are at round 5, and then we move on beginning of August, Monroe, Washington, the battle in Seattle. We got Grantsville, Utah, which is a brand new venue for us, and then Irwindale, California plays host to crown a 19th ever Formula Drift champ. Who do you think it's going to be?
We're already this far into the season.
I know, right?
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it is very hard to believe, but also at the same time, it's like, it's just happening.
It sure is.
Do you attribute that to kind of, everybody kind of being on lockdown, or just you're busy, or the cars, or what do you kind of attribute that to?
I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it is the fact that life is picking up pace now, that everybody's out of everything, and it's hard to keep up. That's potentially what it is, but I can't believe we've already done 4 full rounds of this competition series. Yeah. But it's great. I'm excited for Grantsville. We've been talking about that all season. You keep asking me what my favorite round is, and I keep saying I'm excited for Grantsville.
Yeah.
I have high hopes. I just like new different venues and experiences. So that's going to be the new one for us this year.
And I think that's going to be interesting too, because nobody has any sort of data, on that track, and they don't know what to expect, conditions wise, height wise, elevation. You got to think about elevation. That hasn't really come into play too much for the Formula Drift Championship. I mean, here we are, obviously kind of, we're at sea level essentially, because Mississippi River's right there.
Right
so
there.
you got to think everything. So we haven't really dealt with high elevation. Dimitri Brutsky, take a look at this gentleman. He got #1 qualifying position yesterday in that Drift HQ BMW. Now, keep in mind, this is in Pro Spec, but he is your 2-time defending champion. Was it a great run? Yeah, of course. But I liked how we started too. Robert Thorne came out swinging, our current points leader. I think it's going to come down to Brutsky and Thorne in the Pro Spec Championship.
Yeah, that's what it looks like for sure. Looking at the sector map here, you can see that we have gotten rid of that inside clip where outside zone 2 now resides. So it's an all outside zone track, and it's going to provide or give these drivers a little bit more challenged now, trying to figure out that outside zone 2 to outside zone 3. It is, we have seen, of course, practice over and over again here. We have seen some tandem practice as well. So we've seen some really close tandem battles here in practice, let's call them. As drivers are going from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2, it's really important to get yourself lined up so you don't end up with a tire on the rumble strip, and then running the right amount of angle and speed through outside zone 2 to get to outside zone 3. So this track is kind of our new change, I guess, this for this venue here. And I really think it's working out beautifully. So if you watch the course preview here from Torque Drift, this is the outside zone 1 area that remains the same from last season. So nothing has changed there. And then watch right here as the car transitions. You can see he put his tire on the rumble strip, but in reality, that rumble strip is very tall and steep. So you don't want to get your tire on that rumble strip. It does affect the attitude of the car. Coming here through outside zone 3 is an area where we don't want drivers to have a little bit of angle, but it's happening naturally through there. And then we're looking for this big transition to outside zone 4, and we want them to ride that outside line with the right rear tire before they go up onto the bank where the finish line is, just before they go up there.
And that was a great Torque Drift course preview there. And the guys that I got to call it the Anvil Drops, courtesy of Chris Yule, Ryan Lantain, who's sitting next to me, and we're going to get some insight from him and potentially get some insight from both Chris, and rounding out the 3 judges, Brian Eggert. So if you haven't downloaded Torque Drift, you saw a little preview there with Dylan Hughes. Also, I really want to point out that I think outside zone 4 is going to come into play, not so much maybe in qualifying, but also coming into head-to-head, you know, later on with Pro Spec and in Pro, obviously tomorrow, because when you go into 4, we saw it yesterday with Haley, kind of that late break, that wall's going to come into play. You can see that line. It goes right towards the wall. I think we're going to see some more slapping of those back bumpers as they enter into outside zone 4. Here's a look at our starting list. Of course, Matt Field will kick things off. He is currently leading the pack with our K&N qualifying leader board. So obviously with nobody running, it is at a moot point. So Field, Osbo, Forsberg, Turk, Denova, Hughes, Reeder, Bakshis, Charpentier, and Stuckey rounding out top 10. And that's great. Daniel Stuckey in the top 10. So when we come back, we'll get this party started here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Thank you so much. You can see the Gateway of the West just off top of your screen over there. You can see the St. Louis Arch. Ryan Lantain, myself, our judges, our drivers. When we come back, round 5, the Formula Drift Pro Championship, we deem this Crossroads. We'll see you at the Crossroads. At the Crossroads, roads.
Rockstar energy drink. This is Matt Wall, the twin turbo PWC. Tanner Fast going through the paces. Solid line here. Great angle. Woo! Good initiation from Dye. Did you see that main flick entry? Just gangster right there.
Good job right there by Osbo, but look at Odie Bakshis diving right in on the attack.
Conditioning now. Ryan Turf really needs to show up. He went off course. Tightens up to the front clip. As does Freddie. The Norwegian hammer gets sweated by Denova. And then he just keeps on going past. And Frederick Osbo fills all that outside zone. Michael, that's a right there. Looking in, rolling tide. Here we go. Final outside zone line. Pretty straightforward. Outside zone. Frederick Osbo right there. And now bring her on that final clip. Approaching, pulls the tire up.
So qualifying playing a role here in Long.
Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. 'Cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah. On the way. I'm on the way.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
At O'Reilly Auto Parts, we know how important it is for your car to look sharp and run well. And we're here to make that as simple as possible. Get all the parts, accessories, and tools you'll need for your next project delivered right to your doorstep. Just place your order online and leave the rest to us. You'll have everything you need at your door with free shipping the very next day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey everybody, Chris Forsberg here for your BC Racing Clip Tip, and this is Outer Zone 2 at Formula Drift St. Louis, and this is an all-new zone that we have. We used to have an inner clipping point right over here, which you would see people hitting, center punching, sending way through the air, and now we have an outside zone, which is actually pushing the drivers to go wide and run along this wall, a little more treacherous, but also leaves a nice pocket for the chase driver to be able to run a nice tandem all the way through this right-hander and up and along the back straight. And so before it was very difficult to transfer, you get stuck on the inside, you're hitting that cone, you're doing whatever you can to stay in the pocket, but now we're forcing that lead driver to go all the way out to this outside wall, and so it's going to look even better as the lead driver. It's going to be a better chase, it's going to allow for better tandem, it's going to also hopefully be a cleaner track because we're not going to be hitting these BC Racing cones. So they're going to be setting off into the grass a little bit. We're supposed to get up onto this berm. You can put the rear tire right up to the berm and get your rear bumper hanging over it and push them wide all the way through this zone. And I feel this is the most important part, most critical part of the track to make sure you are in the right spot, in the pocket, in the chase position to make that back straight look perfect as you follow that lead driver into the final turn. And so that, my friends, is your BC Racing Clip Tip.
There from Chris the Force Forsberg, three-time Formula Drift champion. He is in contention of that championship here in 2022, currently sitting third in points, and we'll be seeing our first driver jump into that Pedal Commander burnout box. Should be Matt Field, and it will be. These current standings, it's a tight race, and there are a lot of points on the line, so only 4 points separate first and second place overall. Chris Forsberg sits, you can see, 34 points behind. Talking about Ryan Turk, you know, do the math right there, 289 compared to 335. So, and Osbo looking to produce here in St. Louis, and Chelsea Denofa, if you can remember, he won here last year, so he knows that he can get it done on this track, so he could shake things up. We talked about it on the front end, you know, variety of different podiums. So, you know, Chris Forsberg, he's three-time champion. He's a, you know, first ever three-time champion. Then obviously rivaled by James Dean, which hoping to get James Dean back here stateside for the 23. Ryan Turk started hot in that Toyota GR Corolla, you know, debuting that Corolla in Long Beach, the worldwide debut of that all-wheel drive hot hatchback. Obviously Ryan Turk's not all-wheel drive, but such a great maiden voyage and debut for that Rain-X livery, the vehicle and the Toyota team. So came out hot, but still in contention. There's a lot, there's still, I mean, figure this is round 5, so we're literally at the halfway point. I mean, right now, put it to bed, you have another half of the season. But we talked about, you know, the conditions here. We talked about Seattle, which is a very abrasive, fast, dynamic, fun. I love that track. I mean, I'd probably say Seattle is my second favorite after Atlanta. I think you have to bring all of your weapons to that fight. You have to bring, you know, you got to get technical, so you got to get really tight on that back end of it, and you got to get really fast, so you got to bring your rocket. So overall, these are the points on the line. 100 points obviously for first, 91 for second, 80 for third and fourth, 67 for fifth through eighth. You got 9th through 16th, etc., 35 for 17th up. And Ryan, walk us through our Permatex keys to success. Here's the keys, bro. Why don't you go and drive this train right here?
Yeah, the keys to success for qualifying here, you need to get a big initiation. You need to get the car to angle quickly and fill outside zone 1. So you can't just get into the beginning of outside zone 1 and leave early. You got to fill it to the end to get yourself lined up for outside zone 2. If you don't, you end up on that rubble strip, which is not a good move. It's going to disrupt the car, and it's going to either throw you at the wall or make you go way inside and miss the zone. So that outside zone 2, of course, is very important. You got to get the car all the way out, close to that wall, which is a little bit risky. And then you need to maintain your momentum around outside zone 2 to get yourself to outside zone 3.
All right, so thank you so much, Ryan. Here we go. Matt Field, our current points leader in that Falcon Tires Borla Exhaust Drift Cave Corvette. The 777, the Heat Wave beat Bash going down this weekend, but the Bash is going down as he hits the wall. And that is a major mistake on our current points leader. Talking about the Bash. Oh man, that's going down in the Bay Area for Heat Wave, but unfortunately, Matt Field, that's going to be a huge blow to the system. We talk about qualifying having points, and with just 4 points separating him and Frederick Osbo, oh man, that is a huge rock to the system, Matt Field. Let's take a look at it again. That will be deemed an incomplete for Matt Field. Let's take a look at it again. Walk us through it, Ryan.
So you can see a nice initiation here from Field, big long handbrake, but gets on throttle real quick. As he comes through zone 1, he's lined up right, but you can see that as he gets into zone 2, he just goes too deep. That tire's barely over that line, and it puts him right into the wall. So look at it from this angle. We're gonna get a little slow-mo action on it here. Just goes too deep. Gets into that wall a little too aggressively. You can see quite a few other people have tapped that wall, but you can just do a little graze, but unfortunately Matt Field just went a little too deep and it straightened him up. It's not because he got anywhere near that rumble strip, as I was talking about earlier. Yeah. It's just the momentum that he had going in there was a little bit too much for the amount of grip that he had to get around that corner. So you can see the car's not really damaged. They'll be able to go out and do another run. They may just check it when he gets back to his pit area, but he's lucky that the car didn't get damaged. It tapped that wall, straightened up, but went kind of parallel to the wall as opposed to into it.
Yeah, I chuckle because Matt Field and that vehicle and that team has worked so hard throughout the season. If you can remember back to round 1, not a straight corner on that thing. He got married, got the car back together, and just a week later was competing at round 2. So just overall, that car has taken a licking. They've straightened it, re-straightened it. I mean, the thing's, you know, taken quite an abuse, but hats off to the Drift Cave family. Oh no. So you can barely see, is it just a spit of a rain? I mean, I'm not even seeing.
It's probably light enough that it's not accumulating on the ground at all, you know, because the pavement's so hot, it just kind of evaporates immediately, but it's apparently there's some moisture in the air.
Okay. Well, moisture in the air, now it's moisture in the ground, right? So I am seeing it, and admittedly we are up in the tower, so I am seeing it on the windows. The unfortunate thing here is that we've had nothing but absolutely bone dry track, and then when we go to run, here we are seeing a little bit of moisture, just enough, and you know, you wonder if that could have affected Matt on that run. Yeah, and this is what I talked about on the top end of the show, looking at I mean, I'm just utilizing my phone's app, and it literally says, you know, it's saying drizzle right now, but 60 to 30%. All right, as we're looking at the skies, let's take a look at our Air Force trivia. Thank you to the United States Air Force as we're in our Air Force qualifying. Aim high trivia. Which U.S. Air Force aircraft can fly on the edge of space? So which U.S. Air Force aircraft can fly on the edge of space? Is it F-22, the MQ-9, the U-2, or the CV-22? Go ahead and go in the descriptions and where you're watching in the YouTube. Go and click into the description. You'll see that link. Go and click it. Got some time here right now, so go and click that link and see if you know which aircraft that is. Thank you to the United States Air Force for their support of the Formula Drift Championship as we are in the United States Air Force qualifying.
Whatever that aircraft is, I would like to go for a ride in it, Jared.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, just on the right on the.
Just get up there.
Yeah. All right, well, Mother Nature's sorting things out, and we're figuring out what's going on track. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Action continues. And gosh, this is just, it seems to be the trend for the season. We're almost set, we're ready to go, and then poof, Control-Alt-Delete. We'll be right back here with more qualifying. Don't go anywhere from Worldwide Technology Raceway.
those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited, while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
In Rockstar Energy Drink. Lewis Matt Wall, the twin turbo BWC. Tanner fast going through the paces. Solid line here. Great angle. Woo, good initiation from Dye. Did you see that faint flip entry? Just gangster right there.
Good job right there by Osmo, but look at Odie Bocci's diving right in on the attack.
Positioning now. Ryan Surf really needs to show up. He went off course. Tightens it up to the front clip. As is Freddie. The Norwegian hammer gets sweated by Danofa. And then he just keeps on going past. Frederick Osmo fills all that outside zone. Michael, that's a right there. Look at him roll tide. Here we go. Final outside zone line. Pretty straightforward. Outside zone. Frederick Osmo right there. And now bring around that final clip. Approaching, pulling the tire up. So qualifying playing a role here in Long.
Frederick Osbo is away from the burnout box and now pulls up to the start line. And from what I understand, this will be a sight lap. So this will be a sight lap, meaning that he will go through the course without any, you know, with no score, just getting a feel for the run. So this is a sight lap. So again, this is not judged. This is purely getting because I mean, look at, I mean, it's barely any rain. It was as if Ryan Lantino was aggressively talking to me and I got some spit in my face. That's, yeah, which I often do. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, we've got COVID, we're vaxxed, you know, I know I've had it, so. All right, Frederick Oswald will make his way back up. Pull him back up, Freddie. Here comes Frederick Osbo on his actual judge run, coming to that first initiation point, that first outside zone, now coming into outside zone 2. Here comes Freddie. Nice and tight to that wall, into outside zone 3. Fills all of that. Now into outside zone 4, that's what I was talking about. Look at that handbrake pull, and then back on the smoke machine and across the finish line. All right, so Freddie pulls through the course, and like you said, just barely spitting. And I don't think we need any more sight laps, to be quite honest.
Well, this run certainly looked high level enough that you could say there's plenty of grip out there. Look at that right rear tire right along the outside edge of outside zone number 1. Big handbrake pull going into zone 2, getting yourself slowed down. It's a decel area there, so you're allowed to get yourself slowed down nice and wide on outside zone 3. And then another handbrake pull, getting yourself set for outside zone number 4. Put the car in all the right places. In terms of X factor that Chris Ewell is looking for on the style side of things, we'll see how this sets the bar for the rest of qualifying here. But definitely getting the car in all the right places. Osbo, look at that line all the way through outside zone number 2, and again through 3 and 4. Really had the car well placed. You can see the car settled, no movement from the those front wheels once the car set at angle. So very smooth, very confident, easy run from him.
Giving the fans a little of what they want, listening to the engine. I know we hear your feedback, the fans talking about...
That was not the qualifying run that we just watched. That was the
his bye run,
or the sighting lap.
Sighting lap, thank you.
Yeah.
Was that his qualifying?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
I think this is it.
So we've definitely heard the fans say, hey, we want to hear more engine noise. We're hearing you. And we have to call the run, giving respect to what we're looking for. There's Matt Field. He's got a smile on his face. You can see him over there. So Matt Field still laughing. He knows that qualifying is important, but it's not the end of your day. And there's an 82 for our defending champion, Frederick Osbo.
So you can see that he lost quite a few points on style, and I think it had to do with the transition going into outside zone number 2, and then the transition going into 4 was a little bit slower than I think Chris wanted to see. So he was just a little bit too cautious going in there.
Also, real quick, this is a sight lap.
This is a sight lap. I better keep talking than watching.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it looks very grippy, except right there where Chris went pretty much 3 tires off right there, but
again, sight lap.
Sight lap.
All right, get Forsberg back up.
They're getting those cones picked up down there. Yeah, they're all back up and ready to rock. So we should be able to send Forsberg here on his qualifying run.
All right, here we go. Forsberg back up to the start line. Let's see what we got. This all-new Nissan Z, the NOS Energy Drink GT Radial, all-new Z. Chris Forsberg running that GTR engine. I know they did an engine swap last night till early this morning, so they've been working very hard on this vehicle, getting close to that wall that BC Racing clipped. Talked about that clip tip. Goes all the way to the track's edge, and see if he handles it better than he did in that sight lap. Maybe a little gun shy and timid. Maybe learn something there in that sight lap run.
Yeah, it looks like whatever happened in the sight lap that sent him off in 4, he was overly cautious about in his qualifying run, and it bit him. So that is going to be deduction on line, angle, and potentially style there as well going into 4. So zone 1 looking pretty solid. Didn't go all the way wide at the beginning, but worked it out there. Good job going into zone 2. Looked more aggressive. Coming in through 3, big angle there near the end of the zone, and then look at, he transitions a little early and doesn't really let the car float out into outside zone 4 at the beginning, but manages to pull the handbrake there and work it out. So there he comes through outside zone 2, coming into zone 3 now. Let's see how it looks from this angle. Yeah, he got in there really nice.
Yeah.
And then going to 4, like I said, is where he really came in too cautiously and with not enough momentum here. Slowed down a little too aggressively and then had to kind of pull that handbrake for a long time to get the car to carry out into outside zone number 4.
I think that's like I said, that outside zone 4 is going to be a place where a lot of these, I think the head-to-head, it's going to get pretty exciting. Both later on and going into tomorrow. And a 75 for Chris Forsberg, a 75 for Chris the Force Forsberg, and his all-new Nissan Z. Taking a look at our, as we finish seeing Chris Forsberg's run, 3-time champion. Here is our Formula Drift championship history dating all the way back to 2004. 22 marks 19 years. Next year, 20 years of FD, baby.
What kind of celebrations are we going to have next year?
XX. Oh, dude, there's going to be a party. There's going to be drifting.
Going to be clowns and balloons.
Clowns. A balloon. I make a mean balloon snake or a balloon worm, depending on a balloon sword.
I want a horsey.
Nope, can't do that. Snakes or worms. That's all I got.
Worms.
We got worms. Mach C. Ing C. All right, we know this next driver, his son Roman, and his wife Shannon are watching from home and cheering it on.
Side lap.
See, when the Rain X car shows up, the rain goes away. It just beats right over. It just beats right. So the Rain X Toyota GR Corolla as Ryan Turk, who won in round 1, taking his sight tires, go around, wrapped around his rotiform wheels into outside zone 4 in just a sight lap. Don't know how many sight laps we're going to see. And here we are. All right, so here goes Ryan Turk. He completed his sight lap. And here we go, Ryan Turk, that Rain X Toyota GR Corolla, who's the winner at round 1. Can he duplicate it here in St. Louis? Currently a top 5 driver, currently sits 4th. Ryan Turk, live free or die. In that first outside zone here from Ryan Turk. Into the second outside zone, let's see what he's got. Brings it all the way in, last start of the official energy drink of Formula Drift. Now coming into, ooh, wow, look at that. Using all of the course, putting that Nitto tire just on the edge, and he does it again outside zone 4, knocking over that BC Racing clip. Well done by Ryan Turk. Again, winner at round 1.
All right, Jared, watching Ryan Turk initiate here is inspiring. Look at that snap to initiation. Big angle through outside zone 1. Unfortunately, leaves that zone a little early and starts pulling the handbrake before he's fully rotated. So that's going to hurt him when Chris looks at that for sure on the style side of things. Going through outside zone 3 there, looking really strong. Big transition to 4. Look at the angle that he's running all the way through outside zone 4. I don't think he dropped the tire there, but we'll have a look again. So the only issue I see online there is outside zone 1, he leaves a little bit early, and on style, I see that big handbrake pull before the car is fully rotated for outside zone number 2. As he goes from 2 to 3 here, throttle, 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 beautiful line through there, good angle, and then watch this angle as he goes through outside zone 4. Huge angle, keeps the car on the track. Beautiful job from Ryan Turk.
Yeah, really, really well done by Ryan Turk. And he goes over the scales. See if take a look at our leaderboard, Frederick. Oh, and Ryan Turk jumps up an 84. Ryan Turk jumps up to the number 1 spot with an 84. Osbo with 82. I love that automatic update there. You see it just stocks rising all over, the stonks. And Ryan Turk's stonk goes right up to the top. Invest in that Turk coin, baby.
Careful what advice you give out on the air, Jared.
Well, there is no Turk coin, so exactly. I'm not, that's no insider trading, okay? Just relax.
People might take this as crypto advice.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to be online looking for Turk coin.
There is no Turk coin, so just relax on that. This is our sight lap. Want to see if he wants to take a sight lap? I know Chelsea has actually denounced him before. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yep.
Let's run it.
Keep your sight lap, thank you.
I said good day.
Good day.
Okay, Chelsea is taking a sight lap. We are confirming. Chelsea Denofa, currently 5th in points in that Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Him and Adam LZ, the 2 RTR Ford Mustangs in competition. Chelsea Denofa, let's lay out, watch, listen on Chelsea Denofa's sight lap.
Woo! That was nice and close to that wall, Jared. A little bit wide on outside zone 4, so sometimes you watch a driver do their sight lap and you say, I hope that wasn't all they had in the tank for that run.
Okay.
Did a great job on outside zone number 2. It's probably the best we've seen yet in outside zone 2. So he needs to repeat that as he goes into his qualifying lap now, and needs to keep the momentum going through that area, the kind of the confidence, the commitment, the line that he had through there, and the angle, because that was really well done through outside zone 2. So he's got to make sure that he does 2 the same way. 4, dropped the tire through there, so he just needs to tighten that up a little bit.
Too, coincidentally.
Yeah, so we'll see how he kind of translates that sight lap into his actual scored qualifying lap now.
And here we go, Chelsea Denofa back on the start line. This, from what I understand, I'm told by the officials, that will be our final sight lap, so we won't see 2 laps. So that's going to be great. That's going to progress through our competition quicker. Chelsea Denofa, Pennzoil, Mustang RTR Spec 5D. There we go. Definitely not surprised by the bumper exploding of Chelsea Denofa into that outside zone 2. Well done from Chelsea. Now in the outside zone 3. And the final outside zone. Can he dial it in? A little bit of it, like you saw that handbrake again. Yep. These drivers having some difficulty. I mean, you talk about, you know, champions and championship contenders, both of them grabbing the handbrake, going into outside zone 4. So where that wall juts out, that might be playing a role.
Yeah, and kind of what I talked about earlier, the way that he approached outside zone 2 in his sight lap, he did not do that in his qualifying lap. So let's watch the lap now. You can see him going through the chicane. Nice flick to initiation, big angle through outside zone 1, but leaves it a little bit early. And then right here, look at the handbrake pull and kind of the trepidation going into that zone. It's not what he did in his sight lap. So unfortunately, the sight lap was better in that area. And then if you look at zone number 4 here, kind of the same thing. He dropped the tire in 4 on his sight lap, but that qualifying lap kind of went shy on outside zone 4, so he's a little bit too cautious. See the line going into outside zone 2 was a little bit inside there, had a long handbrake pull, and then right there a little bit of reduction in angle, and then pours it on. Transitions here, there was a little bit of a hesitation there, and then doesn't go quite as deep all the way through the zone as we'd like to see. So left a few points on the table there, even compared to just a sight lap. So that's where the sight lap can kind of have an issue psychologically on drivers, I think.
Not an unfamiliar sight there as our officials take Chelsea Denofa's rear bumper off track. So I feel like Chelsea Denofa, the first one, he goes off on the sight lap. Second one, he comes up a bit short. The third one, just right. Goldilocks, or the Golden Mustang, and the 3 runs. So officially, no more sight laps. Officially, no more sight laps. And a 76. The 76 for Chelsea Denofa. Falls into the 3rd position. Here we are, and the winner from Orlando, a wet. This gentleman prays for rain. He's got a rain stick as a shift knob. Dylan Hughes, the Dozer, the Royal Purple Falcon tires. BMW wants to put down a good run. Running that 2J power plant. Let's see what Dylan Hughes has for us here. Royal Purple, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Falcon tires. This gentleman is very busy. No more sight laps, going right into it. This is his qualifying run. Flicks into that first outside zone, fills all of it. Really good job there by Hughes. Now into the 3rd outside zone, fills all of that. Man, he is just absolutely on it. I mean, this is a darn near perfect Qualifying run almost gets out to that outside line, but really well done. Like the impact, had a lot of attitude. The wheel speed, I mean, you didn't even see those back wheels. Those Forge Star wheels were covered in smoke. Let's take a look at it again.
Let's check his initiation out. Nice little flick. Pretty good at rate to angle there. Looked pretty smooth. Did a good job through outside zone 1 on line. On this transition here, does a nice job of getting on throttle quick and early. Just had a slight handbrake pull, so that should help him out on his approach. For the style side of things, now going into outside zone number 4, did a nice job there. Could have been about a foot deeper through the majority of it, but that's a nice, look at that view, everyone. This is going to give you a perfect view of the line that he's taking. Look at that through there. This is the camera that we really love to see in tandem. This is so helpful. Baby. Yep. And then look at that nice arc he draws through there as well. That's really perfect. Well done. Yeah, it was really nicely done from that drone operator. Beautiful job.
So a great run by Dylan Hughes. He's got to be feeling very confident, and with that run, we will be talking to him later, which is really cool. We always like to get some insight as Royal Purple, the official oil, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, and an 86 jumps into that number 1 spot. Woo! Look at that. So after getting that, after giving that victory, not giving, excuse me, him getting that victory in Orlando, earning that victory in Orlando, he has just had a great vote of confidence. Travis Reeder, his longtime homie, again, most recent winner in New Jersey.
Jared, I love this look right here. You could see the lack of rubber in the chicane right there. It's proving that it's working.
Right.
Because they can't go full throttle all the way through, and that's proof positive right there.
Absolutely. Travis Reeder comes into that first outside zone. Let's see if these, again, 2 very similar looking BMWs, but 2 very different setups. You have LS under the hood of Reeder's vehicle. Yeah, getting a little woo from Ryan Lontaine into that third outside zone. But like more angle there. You saw him kind of straighten out as he entered into it. Really good execution on outside zone 4. So it's all about, again, we talk about that initiation, getting to outside zone 2, and then going into 3, and then finally that 4. So just a very, like I said, unassuming track, but very difficult.
I think he's going to get some decent points from the style judge there going into outside zone 2. Nice line through outside zone 1. Look at the transition here. Quick handbrake pull, nice and wide, big angle through outside zone number 2. And then throttle, throttle, throttle. Like you said, slightly lower angle at the beginning of zone number 2, but pours it on near the end. And then a decent job through 4. Could have been a little bit wider there to the outside line, but let's watch it from our magic drone. So nice initiation there. Look at that nice line through outside zone number 1. As he transitions for number 2, you can see that the car is at big angle immediately, and he just throttles all the way through it. Right there, slightly less angle, but then pours it on and has a nice transition for outside zone number 4. Again, could have been deeper in 4, but did a great job throughout the entirety of the course regardless.
Let's see where Travis Reeder lands as score-wise. See what Reeder's got. Oh man, just looking at social media, and unfortunately Darren Kelly is going to have to retire from competition. The great looking Aston Martin, and I'll get into those details later. But right now, Travis Reeder with an 84, So an 84 for Travis Reeder. Travis Reeder with an 84. Now keep in mind it defaults to style first. As far as the tiebreaker, so again, it defaults to style first. Reeder higher style score. So Hughes with the lead, Reeder 84, Turk 84, Osbo Denofa Forsberg. All right. Our K&N knockout qualifying begins. Now, Matt Field has re-entered the chat room because basically through the judges and everybody conversing, they came to the agreement that everybody kind of checked the track, and up on the start line, it was dry. Over at the scales, it was dry. The officials did not check where outside zone 2 was, and just given the attitude of the vehicle and Matt going into the wall and then giving everybody the sight laps right thereafter, the precipitation, the rain, it could have been slick on that portion of the track. So giving Matt the benefit of the doubt, the moisture and rain could have been outside zone 2, so they requested and said, hey, can we run again? So yes, the officials and judges have come to the agreement and said, we'll see that first run as a sight lap, and now here is Matt Field's official qualifying run. All right, here goes Matt Field in that first outside zone into outside zone 2, and looks a lot better than that first run, and into the third. Again, that first run being a sight lap. Now this is a judge run. Now very clean into that final outside zone 4. Ryan, you want to elaborate? Did I correctly elaborate on the situation scenario of Matt Field rerunning?
Yeah, for the most part, I'll go through his run here real quick. Looking at his initiation, good little flick, but there's a little hesitation there as the car rotates. You can see a handbrake pull to try to help that out a little bit. A little bobble there going into 2, but he goes nice and deep into outside zone 2. But I think Chris is going to get him on the style side of things going into 2. Good angle through 3, a nice big amount of angle through 4, nice and settled. And we're going to watch that again here from the drone. So see right there, that little hesitation on initiation, and then the car goes to angle as he gets into the zone. Transition-wise here, same thing. A little kind of stepped transition there as well, but does go deep into that zone. And then right there, good angle through outside zone 3. Better transition into 4, where he does get to a high amount of angle, runs a good line through outside zone 4, and completes the course. Now, the only little change I would make to what you said is the judges weren't really involved in the decision. It was the in-competition committee.
Copy that.
So there are a few people who are up here in the judges tower. So we have the driver steward, we have the competition director, track manager, and Ryan Sage as well. So the 3 of them came to the conclusion that based on the evidence, he should be given another opportunity due to not having that sight lap. Perfect. So that is how the decision was made.
Thank you. Appreciate the insight there. All right, so as we were waiting for Matt Field's outcome and his score, so like I said, talking about that Heat Wave Beach Bash going down this weekend, that is not that it's an 85. Just disregard the photo. That's Odie Bakshi's, but I believe the score is going to be correct there. So could slide into that number 2 spot. So Matt Field with an 85. So still the teal and blue, and coincidentally, that's his frenemy, Odie Bakshi's. But Matt Field receives an 85. An 85 for Matt Field. So that slides him into that number 2 position. He's got to be feeling a lot more confident after the unfortunate backing into the wall.
Yeah, definitely going to put him in a much better place mentally, going into this competition, knowing that now he's going to be comfortably in the competition at a, we don't know where everybody's going to stack up with the rest of qualifying going through, but that should put him in a decent position. For,
at least not the bottom 8.
Exactly.
Yeah. Odie Bakshi's leaving the line. The Falcon Tires feel suspension. S15. Ooh, a lot of dirt, man. They put him on staff here in landscaping with all that being thrown up. In that second outside zone, now into that third outside zone. Here goes Matt Field. Now he flirts with the course edge. Odie, excuse me, thank you so much. See, I did it. I made the mistake. Odie Bakshi's, the teal and blue. I got confused. All this teal and blue in my diet. I'm just, out here producing Falcon Tires.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, Matt. Odie Bakshi's, go ahead, take the mic.
There we go.
Oh, God.
Odie has a bit of a different initiation style. A straight line handbrake, gets the car to angle, but goes off the course. You can see the car over-rotating there, but he manages to save it. But that's going to be hurting him on the style side because there was a big kind of hesitation there as he tried to keep the car on the track after that kind of off-course excursion. Leaving outside zone 3, there was a weird hesitation, clutch kick there to get the car back at angle. So let's watch it from the sky. Watch the different style of initiation. Straight line, gets the car to angle, but then goes wide right after. You can see, look at how high that angle is right there. He has to kind of choke up, pause the car to get the car rotated for outside zone number 2. I love this view because everything that I said is just, I think I'm right, and now it's absolutely right. And look at that hesitation right there. As he, I don't know what happened there. It was weird. It was like the car gripped up and he had to get the power back down. And when he did that, the car hesitated. He had to rotate the car. Didn't look natural. It wasn't the kind of flow that we're typically used to seeing from a car through that area. So if we watch it from that different perspective, it really gives you a different idea, a better idea of, especially from the drone. The drone is fantastic.
That's a confidence builder for you as a judge.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Seeing it from different angles, and that's what all the cameras, we've been so fortunate to have all the different angles, either on the ground and then obviously going up in the sky, and the FPV drones always make great videos, just over the years and the progression. They actually got debuted here in St. Louis. I remember launching a particular model of the GoPro camera, and a 72 for Odie Bakshis. 72. So a 72 for Odie Bakshis. And we move on to our next driver, Rome Charpentier. And talk about just a storybook story, just overall, this gentleman, giving moderns hell, and just the way he's, just a great progression overall of his program and what he's been able to do. We saw him in the finals. He got second place just behind Travis Reeder, but I think he gained a lot of fans in New Jersey. Just always got a smile on his face, a great attitude over the years. So let's see what Rome Charpentier has. And it's pronounced Charpentier. Don't you even try to put that French Canadian spin on it, buddy.
I won't even say his name.
His dad, it's Rome to you.
I'll call him Rome.
That's it, like Madonna, like Prince. He's Rome.
Rome
wasn't built in a day. Built in a few FD seasons. Because right now the Garagistic BMW giving moderns hell. Federal tires coming to that second outside zone. Let's see how he handles it. Ooh, wee, Rick, look at that. All right, so now into the third outside zone goes Rome. And now finally that final outside zone. Like that approach. Again, a lot of guys giving that handbrake yank. Let's take a look at it again from all your different perspectives here, Ryan.
Yeah, this is a pretty good run from Rome. If you watch his initiation, nice big flick, gets the angle nicely, almost all the way out wide on outside zone 1, just maybe a half a foot off. Transition here, he had a long handbrake, so Chris is going to get him for that, but he gets out wide through outside zone 2. Good line, going to outside zone 4. Could have been slightly wider in that zone. And right here, there was a slight hesitation as he got the car rotated for outside zone number 4, but overall, a smooth run from Rome. And I don't think he's going to get any major deductions, just some small ones here and there. Line-wise, that may have been close to perfect on zone 1. Pretty decent on zone 2 as well. You can see a nice wide arc through there. Going to zone 3, yeah, that's where he was off a little bit. Could have been a little bit deeper there. And then transitioning here, started off pretty good. Could have been a little bit deeper, then finished really strong through zone 4.
All right, Rome completes his score. Ryan Lontaine breaking it down. Shout out to my wife, Stephanie Dienda. And everybody else tuning in, make sure you tag us at Formula D, hashtag FDSTL. Let everybody know we are live. And Rome slides in with an 80. All right, and look at this, top 10, Daniel Stuckey. Stuckey is stoked right now as he is currently having a great season, that M-Spec S14.9. Pulling up to the start line. And we are standing car. I said standing car because he's Stuckey. All right. Into that first outside zone. Here goes Daniel Stuckey. See how he handles that transition. Good fluid transition in the second outside zone. Doesn't get as deep as some of the other drivers. Comes in tight. You can see him working the wheel inside the cockpit. Big angle here. Let's see how he handles outside zone 4. Drags on the wall. Probably one of the most aggressive into that outside zone 4. Definitely want to take a look at that drone. That was really dynamic. Didn't love the first to second, maybe a little gun shy, but says, you know what, throws caution to the wind on outside zone 4.
Yeah, his line through outside zone 1, look at his bumper just skims the second marker there, just taps it. Good angle through there, nice, well, the transition could have been a little more dynamic, let's say, a little quicker. And then right here, he gets really tight, low angle, but manages to work the car out to outside zone 3. Transitions here, rubs the bumper on the wall, and then not quite all the way out 4, but close to it. So right there, just taps that outside zone number 1 marker, transitions to 2, And then right here goes really tight, but still manages to get out to outside zone 3. So that was kind of an unorthodox line through there. He almost ran that inside clip after the outside zone number 2. You know, that inside clip that isn't there anymore. So this will give us a better view of the line from outside zone number 2 to outside zone number 3. So watch his arc. So he goes deep there, but leaves early and goes really tight on that paint, but manages still to get outside zone 3 filled. So good job from him there. Sort of a different approach. And then you can see a little bit off of outside zone number 4, but pretty good job overall. Just some points lost here and there for some slight mistakes that he's made.
And Daniel Stuckey on the scales, weighing it out. So again, an update on Darren Kelly, just a very unfortunate turn of events for him. He says that he posted on DarrenKelly.116, talked about a rocker on the number 11 cylinder. Fortunately, it didn't go down to the cylinder head. They have a spare engine, but it's back in Atlanta. So unfortunate for Darren Kelly. He will not be running here in St. Louis as Daniel Stuckey receives an 82 for his qualifying run. So very unfortunate for the very unique vehicle of Darren Kelly.
You have to wonder the engine in that car, has it ever really been used in competition spec anywhere? That's from the old generation DBS, which was kind of a grand touring car.
Yep.
So it's kind of an unorthodox engine to be using in competition, especially in drifting, but for it to have held up this long is pretty good.
Brandon Sorensen coming to us from Las Vegas, youngest ever driver, now 17 years old, coming into that first outside zone. United States Air Force BMW. Yo! Bashing that back bumper. Look at that trunk just almost flying off. Let's see how he handles outside zone 4. Now's when you drag it. Yes, he does. Outside zone 4. Again, Brandon Sorensen has really just risen to the occasion. That's why he currently sits 11th after 4 rounds. So past that halfway point, you can see push that trunk in just a little bit more on outside zone 4 on that transition. Great shot there of Brandon Sorensen.
Yeah, he has a pretty big crush zone in the back of that car for it to absorb that hit on outside zone 2. Let's look at it again. Getting to initiation in outside zone 1 wasn't as deep on outside zone 1 as we'd like to see. Going into outside zone 2, look at how deep he was. The tire almost touched the wall and the whole back of the car crushed in. So that'll maybe be something that the line judge looks at and says it was a kind of an overzealous approach to outside zone number 2. So let's look at it one more time here, potentially from a different view. Yeah, we're going to get the eye in the sky. Looking at it from up here always gives you so much insight. So you can see there he's off of outside zone number 1. Big angle though as he approaches outside zone number 2, but you can see he was over the line there, crushed the back of the car, and then low amount of angle approaching outside zone 3. And then here on the transition, like you said, a little bit of a rub there again, and big angle through outside zone 4. Pretty good job on the latter half of the course.
Maybe elaborate, sorry, I'll let you score, but go ahead and score there, Ryan. And the point that Ryan, I think, was trying to convey there was in outside zone 2, as cool as it is, kind of bashing it in and getting in, sometimes you can utilize that bashing in to potentially slow down the car. And, you know, when you're fortunate enough, if you have what we call bumper hang, you know, so if you take a look at Brandon's vehicle or the Ford Mustangs, like as we see JTP pulling the start line, they have big bumper hang. You see Chelsea Nova knock off a lot of bumpers compared to, say, like Ryan Turk has very minimal bumper hang on the Toyota Corolla. So I'm not saying he did, but a great score of a 78 nonetheless. Utilizing that bash, if that was, you know, a little deeper, he would have written off the car, or, you know, like it could have been worse.
Yeah, that overhang it's supposed to be there because that's the design of the car, and you shouldn't be using that crush to give you a little extra bit of cushion in the back, right?
JTP, Justin Pollock, Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang. In that first outside zone, the Lucas Oil Synthetics, you can see talking about that bumper hang as he slaps into, ooh, big nasty. We know that from JTP. We'll take a look at that. I mean, you gotta love that. We talk about that. That would be in the style category. And quick little yank of the handbrake. That was that was good. I like that kind of preloading going into the transition, and very fluid going to outside zone 4. So kind of checked up real quick, then flicked it in to outside zone 4. But Justin always just likes to throw that little, just an extra something, and that's the X factor we talk about.
Yeah, looking at his initiation here, I always liked Justin's initiation style, but it was a little straighter this time. I'm used to a bigger flick from him, but he did a great job on outside zone 1. transition here to outside zone number 2. Big angle, stays on throttle, looking good. Coming through outside zone 3, big angle, taps that cone, but no big deal. That handbrake pull before the transition will be a problem if he does it in competition.
Yeah.
You're supposed to decel after the car rotates after the transition. So let's watch this FPV drone here. Yeah, it's more of a straight line initiation from JTP, which I'm not used to with him. Usually he does a big flick, but making it look good here. You can see that left rear tire right on the outside line of outside zone number 2. Right there, adding more angle as he goes into 3. And that handbrake pull, you can see, look, he slowed down. That's not good. So on a style side of things, Chris is probably going to deduct points for that. And that, in a competition sense, can be a problem for the chase car because he's pre-decel zone.
Yeah, I was kind of sensationalizing it as far as strategy goes, but you bring up a great point. In head-to-head, that will be docked because that's not, you know, we talk about the fluidity and the kind of momentum zones, and that would not help. That would not help his effort in order to get the victory in head-to-head. And there it is, a 90. Look at that, a 9-0. So style 24, angle 29. That's you, Ryan, and a 37 in line. So boom, JTP gets that #1 spot. So that X factor, the line, the execution, all of it ends up working out for JTP. Jumps to the top.
Yeah, so 24 for style. There's not a lot of area you could have deducted points on style from him there, but I think that handbrake pull going into outside zone 4 is probably one of the spots that he lost some of those points. So you have to wonder, was that necessary? Was that pull, like, was it due to an error earlier on, or could he have done without it and still made it through the rest of the course? So eliminating that handbrake pull could have given him extra points on style, but it may not have rewarded him with more points in potentially line or angle, or, you know, but the ideal run is to do what he did without the handbrake pull, you know, and he would have had probably in the mid-90s at that point.
I think Dan Burkett's going to do well here. The Rad Industries Gear Wrench Toyota Supra, great looking car. He's definitely gained so many fans over the years, and the car setup just seems to be really dialed there. It doesn't seem as wound up, seems a little bit looser as he goes in outside zone 2. Now he's in a safe space here. He saw get into the dirt, change the attitude of the vehicle, kind of straighten him out, and oh boy. And that'll be an incomplete.
Yep.
So that just with it being an unchaseable run. Sorry, I cursed you, Dan. I
was going to say that immediately, but I'm like, no, I'm going to hold off.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work out.
Yep, I cursed you, bro.
So what I wanted to focus on here is from outside zone 2 to outside zone 3. You'll see as he goes through outside zone 2, he goes really wide. And watch the line here. This drone is going to give us exactly what we need to see. Look at how wide he goes here. And he gets to the outside edge of the driver's left on the track there before the zone. And that hurts him. And then he has to power through, ends up going too fast, and has to slow himself down from a higher speed, you know, trying to make up that, that earlier error. And that's where kind of like a compounding error, something that you make early on that then hurts you later. It doesn't just hurt you in that one zone. So watch here. A little bit shy on the zone, but then it causes him to go really wide early, drops the tire, and now he's trying to throttle through outside zone 2. Transitions late, trying to slow down while transitioning. It's tricky because now you're putting weight on the front, lightening the rear, and the car tends to over-rotate in that way. So just got himself in over his head a little bit there with that one.
Bummer. So Dan Burkett spins out, our first incomplete of qualifying. And here comes Michael Essa. Michael Essa. And there's an incomplete for the mulleted one, Dan Burkett.
He's winning with that hair, though, overall, in general.
Yeah. I mean, just a business up front, party out back.
It's almost a party in the front, too. Is how aggressive that is up front.
Yeah, a little spike, a little
party all around, I think.
Just party. My girl likes to party all the time. My girl likes to party all the time. You know that song?
No, I don't.
It's Eddie Murphy, dude.
Oh.
With Rick James.
Rick James.
Yep. Michael Lessa on the start line. FCP Euro Liquid Moly. Bilstein shock absorbers. Part of the Boost Brigade. Just cleaning up the track a touch. Over on outside zone 2. Thanks to our track staff. These hoverboards are getting real out of hand. And Essa drops the visor and is good to go. Here comes Michael Essa. Former champ, big angle there from Essa. Coming to outside zone 2. Let's see what we got from him. Right middle of the road. A little safer approach on outside zone 2. Let's see if he drops the hammer on 3 and 4. And outside zone 4, almost drags. Well, yes, he does. You can see that bumper dropping off and taking that BC Racing clip as a souvenir.
That was nicely done in zone 4, Jared.
Yeah, that was good. Timid on outside zone 2, and then just progressed and got more aggressive to 4.
Yes, agree.
Let's look at it again.
Oh, we get the FPV view. This is always cool. So watch his line as he goes through outside zone 1. Could have been deeper there in 1. Not all the way out, but good angle through there. Transition here. Good angle through this area, but not all the way wide. Could have been a little bit deeper in outside zone 2. Going through 3, same story. Not all the way wide. He's on throttle. He's definitely being aggressive, but nothing like outside zone 4. Right on the wall. Almost had his tire perfectly on that outside line all the way around zone 4. So right here you can see a little bit off outside zone 1. Big angle through here as he transitions. Good amount of angle. Kind of a little hesitation there on angle through outside zone 2. A little bit of a bobble there as well through zone 3. And then going through zone 4, much, much better. That was definitely the best part of the track for him. The amount of angle he was running through 4 and the line as well. So I think he's going to get a high score on line and angle through that area.
Well, look at you looking at your crystal ball, buddy.
Buddy, pal, friend,
chief,
chum,
captain.
There we go. Score is in.
Coach, confidant, Ryan. That's what I call you.
Comrade.
Comrade. 82 and 82 for Michael Essa.
Where does that put him? 6th position.
6th.
He looks happy in that picture.
I love your assessment of this guy. That guy right there. He wrote the book. He wrote the book, the science book that you like. He looks like a teacher, but he's also a student. Like giving. It's a Conan O'Brien thing. This guy right here, that guy, he teaches you science. You know, he doesn't go to class. He teaches you. All right. So sorry, I just went down a rabbit hole. Wataru Masayama up next. Oh man, he broke in the burnout box.
He's
Masayama,
driving off.
See you later. Yeah.
Oh, he drove away, but it's a belt issue. So
okay, so that'll be. Will that be? Is he? Okay, incomplete. Okay, he's not. You wouldn't use your comp timeout. And I'm seeing 37 vehicles on the driver's list. I don't know if Josh Reynolds is here. Josh Reynolds, so 36 to that. Anybody else that you know of? And would Darren Kelly be counted as a vehicle? So he'd be a scratch. So basically 35 vehicles.
So Masuyama's taking a competition timeout.
Wow.
Which ruins my notes entirely now because I already wrote in.
Well, I'm just scratching my head why you would utilize that and not save that for tomorrow.
Well, sometimes your position in qualifying is more important.
So the NGK competition timeout being utilized, you have 5 minutes. You have one for the entirety of the weekend, both qualifying and in competition head-to-head day. So the NGK competition timeout being utilized by Wataru Masayama. So maybe it's just a quick fix, get back up to the line. That way he wouldn't have to go into the not-so-great 8 in the bottom 8. So that's the only reason I would assume that he wants to utilize it. But NGK competition timeout. Spark plugs do time out, so replace yours. NGK spark plugs. Taylor Hull, full pull Hull, that comp cams. Liquid Molly, I saw he picked up a new sponsor here as well. Now coming through into that second outside zone. Let's see what he's got here. Coming into the third and finally the fourth. Pretty aggressive, nice job. Ooh, almost had a little bit of a bulk there. But full pull Taylor Hull does just that, gets that full pull.
Really poured the angle on in outside zone 4. And we get the truth serum here. We're going to see, it looked like his car moved around as he was approaching outside zone number 2. And this view here should give us the truth. So watch his transition. Yeah, definitely gets up on the rumble strip, but he managed to run a good line despite that. It doesn't always disrupt you, but it can. In this case, it did not. So he got lucky there. And as he transitions here for outside zone 4, you can see he's off at the beginning a bit and then pours on some big angle, but kind of stalls up as he did that. It looked like he was trying to correct his line a little bit. So let's listen here.
Click. Locked and loaded.
Listening to that V8 scream. So you can see right there is where he went offline a little bit over the white
Not
line,
too bad,
up
though.
on the rumble strip. Managed to keep it at angle, controlled the car really well. Transitioning here, you can see this is where he's going to slow down right there.
Ooh.
So managed to keep the car on the track by pouring more angle on there, but I think that's going to hurt his score a little bit.
Again, shout out to Taylor Hull and his team picking up and announcing Wild Willie's men's grooming product. I saw that, so excited to see what Wild Willie's brings to the game. They say on a mission to craft the best damn beard products on the planet. All right, it's a bold statement. We'll see.
Hey, you have a beard.
I do have a beard.
You should get some.
Well, I got a guy, Taylor. Let me get some beard products. The only scrutinization about products right now, we travel so much, is it needs to be under 3 ounces.
Right, to get on that plane with you.
Yeah, dude.
You don't want to be checking a bag.
Checking bags.
It's gonna end up in an airport.
Oh my gosh.
Zimbabwe
you probably
somewhere.
Have a neck, you probably have a neck pillow, don't you, Ryan?
I do not. They
you have a
disgust
neck
me.
pillow.
They disgust
You
me.
would. You.
Over the years of flying, I've watched people with their pillows. I see people with home pillows, the ones that they use in their house, and they bring it and they stuff it in the corner of the plane.
Amateur hour, dude.
Stay away from all of it. Stay away from all of it.
Well, you've seen the movie was it Up in the Air, Up in the Sky?
Is that the one with George Clooney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, just
throw this out.
The traveling efficiency here. All right, so Wataru Masayama, you can see all hands on deck now. The NGK competition timeout being utilized. And like I said, NGK, they make ignition coils as well because they prefer a running partner that can keep pace. They know ignition and spark plugs don't run alone. They put energy and expertise into making a better coil. NGK, spark plugs and coils, better together. So Masayama utilizing that comp timeout. All right, waiting for Taylor Hull's score. We could see, and Masayama being operated, his team and his vehicle being operated by the Drift Cave. Drift Cave is the shop up in the Bay Area, San Jose, California. That's Matt Field. He is the head caveman at the Drift Cave. And slowly getting the scores. The judges have them, just need to get them inputted and just make it official. And it's a 78, great year. It was a great year, 78. Taylor Hull, look at that guy. Look at that guy, that guy. Will teach you how to lasso a cow.
And how to put stuff in your beard.
And how to put stuff in your beard.
Now that he has the,
Wild
was it
Willies.
Wet Willies?
Wild Willies. Wild Willies. I'll give you a Wet Willie if you want one.
Please don't.
Okay.
Oh, that's why the headset's on. You can't touch my
Ken
ears.
Gucci,
Stay away.
The goosh is loose. He says, I love my car, he says.
Love.
Love. Great looking car, GR86. He's running that V6 turbo. Comes out of like an F8 Cruiser or Tacoma. So definitely, you need Phil. Oh, he loves it so much. He backs it in. He says, you know what? I love you so much. I can't quit you. He goes into that wall. Now into that final outside zone 4. Guess what? Risk it for the biscuit, baby.
It feels like another inch or two deeper into that wall, and that would not have turned out the same way that it just did.
No.
But
So we talked about the sensationalism of going to the wall earlier with Brandon Sorensen. Did that save? Did that hurt? Did that help? What say you, Lontagney?
What, going into the
going to that wall in that instance, was that as deep as Brandon? Was it more sensational because the fender popped off?
Well, it's just he doesn't have the overhang that Brandon Sorensen does, so it's a little riskier to go in like that because the tire is going to hit a lot sooner. So let's watch right here how deep it really was, and did it disturb the angle of the car a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. You saw the front wheels.
Is there
kind of
paint
correct.
on the tire too? Maybe the tire did touch the wall. That is the risk that you run with a short overhang car like that. but finished the run regardless. You know, he got through it, so he definitely will get a deduction there for angle, because there was a change in the angle of the car. But kudos to him for giving it all he's got right there and pushing really hard.
Yeah, he takes a little angle out of it.
Yeah. And then going through 3, did a good job through there, and transitioning to 4. You can see he's on throttle, big angle. Line suffered a little bit through 4 though, could have been deeper there.
Well, wreckers or checkers, you know, you can't win in qualifying, but he'll definitely make the highlight reel. A fun run there, and what I'm quoting there about him and his affinity for his new car. So that was a great angle. That really showed how the car corrected a little bit, but he stayed in it, which is good. But he will be deducted for not going into the wall, but correcting and the attitude of the vehicle kind of making that correction. But Ken Gucci just seems very confident. On the debut of this vehicle, it just seemed like a new Gucci, the Gucci we've, you know, known over the years. I mean, him and Chris Forsberg are the last standing veterans that have been around since 2004. And Ken Gucci has been such a great ambassador for Toyota, the GR brand, and doing a lot of things cool with Toyota just over the years. And, you know, would love to see him on the podium. And I think this vehicle is going to get him there. Could it be here? Could it be Utah? You know, I think he's had some success in Seattle. Irwindale, that's a big ask, just with so much knowledge and so much, you know, insight with all the drivers and their relationship with their vehicles, and then therefore into the course. So we'll see if the Threes Racing team, you know, Ken Gucci and the GR Toyota 86. Again, so the power plant setup here, it's a V6 out of the Tacoma or the FJ Cruiser Turbo 82. So even with that bashing of the wall on 82 for Ken Gucci, that's got to be, again, just a real good confidence booster for him. I was talking about love, love, love. He put it up on his social media and said, I love, love, love my car, behind the cockpit of it. So some more Toyota for your diet. Now this one coming all the way, a little bit of Swiss chocolate for you. Coming to us from Switzerland, the Drift Force vehicle. Now this is Yves Meyer, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Switzerland, from Emden, Switzerland, Yves Meyer. Meyer comes through that start chicane. A little bit of checkup there, a little glitch to the system, but now seems to find that sweet spot. Chocolate, that Swiss chocolate. Down to that 3rd outside zone. And then finally this 4th and final outside zone. Like that FPV view, looks dynamic, looks fun. Riding shotgun there with Yves Meyer. But want to get the different perspectives on
all right, looking at our replay, like you said there, Jared, right as he went to initiate, he sort of did a double move, but I think it's kosher for now. Got the car rotated to outside zone 1. Nice rotation outside zone number 2. Decent line here going through outside zone number 3. Leaves it a little bit early, though, and then transitioning for 4. You can see that he's not all the way out in that zone. Decent angle through there, but I'd like to see a little bit more. Could have been deeper in a couple of zones. Needs to clean this up. So watch the move of the car. 1, 2, and then initiate. So it's like a weird little bobble thing that he did while going towards the left before initiating towards the right. So line okay through 2. Could have been deeper. Look at 3 here. Leaves early. And left foot braking. You can see that inside wheel locking up in the front. And then decent run overall. Again, leaving a few points here and there, though. Could clean it up a little bit.
If you imagine you put your hands up like you're driving a steering wheel, and it seemed like he was milking a cow real quick. Just like went back and forth. Just grab those udders and just milk the cow real quick on that initiation. It's not what you want to see. You want to see that good fluid movement and just kind of throw that wheel and let it roll. All the scores coming in, and there it is. That gentleman, he at 10 years old, he won the Chocolate Factory, but he's still holding on to it. But he still invites. He has an annual Chocolate Factory tour. That guy right there.
I haven't had that invite sent to me yet, and I need it
but
sent
it's
to me.
Switzerland.
Yeah, well, I would go there for that.
Yeah, I think that's. Oh, look, we got Wataru Masayama. Buy now, Japan. Kazama Auto. What's that?
Those white glasses?
Yeah, dude. Stunner shades.
Kind of match the
Deal with
helmet
it.
and the wheels.
Yeah. Nice. Bringing it all together. Wataru Masayama utilizing the NGK competition timeout. No timeout needed now. Let's go. Masayama flicks in that first outside zone. Looks definitely a little bit more spirited than we've seen him before. He comes to the S15. That square boxy end. Now when you saw that kind of half step, here comes the hot stepper. Word him up. In that last outside zone. And powers through. So that competition timeout could have been the strategy that he needed to play.
I heard you like S15s.
I do like them.
Good.
I also like JZX 100s and JZX 90s. Contrary to popular belief, I don't know who was announcing yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know what that person was talking about. Look at this flick. Boom to initiation. That was really nice going to outside zone 1. Could have been slightly deeper, but good job overall through that zone. Really aggressive through this area. On throttle, look committed. Going through outside zone 3, you can see that bobble right there. And then slows down before the transition for outside zone 4. I know Chris is going to get him on that. We want to make sure that the cars are rotated before there's a serious slowdown there. And you can see a pretty big slowdown from Masayama before he rotates the car on that transition for outside zone 4. So look at that line through outside zone number 2 there. And then the ball will be right there. You can see
Just
him pouring on angle, trying to fix that. And then right here, the transition going for outside zone number 4.
That big high and wide. We've affectionately called it the truth serum because there ain't no line there. You can't cheat what you can't see, and the eye in the sky tells all. The claw decides who stays and who goes. So, all right, so Wataru Masayama. All right, Masayama. $79 points. That'll be a 79 for Masayama, and it puts him into the number 11 position in that Buy Now Japan Nexon Tire Sylvia S15. What do you think of Sylvia S15s, Ryan?
Oh, I like them. They're not my favorite. I like them. I used to love them, but
yeah.
I just have different priorities now in my car, my JDM Car World Love.
Okay.
You know?
Top of the list?
I really like JZXs.
Okay.
A lot. Yeah.
The 100s or?
I have never driven a 100.
Yeah.
Drove a lot of 90s, and I really love them, so I can only assume the 100s are better.
Yeah,
but visually, I love the 100.
You've driven the 90s.
I love the 100.
Don't you have one?
I used to. I sold it.
Oh.
Pre-COVID. Yeah.
Here we go, Mike Power. Mike Power coming to us from New York, Port Jeff Station. Coming to that first outside zone. Mike Power wants to throw down in that second outside zone. Yo, good job there by the Black Beauty. The third outside zone, and now in that final middle. Yep, shreds it till he deads it. Nice job by Mike Power.
I want to see his transition going to outside zone 2. It looked really late. It looked like he held on to the angle very long before doing the transition to outside zone number 2. So hopefully we get a good view of that. His initiation, straight line style, but gets the car to angle. Looks really good there. Could have been slightly deeper in 1. And look, he's almost at the zone when he transitions, but he makes it look good.
Yeah.
Gets deep in the zone, going to outside zone 3 here. Leaves it a little bit early. And then as he transitions for 4, really tight to the wall, as you can see, evidenced by his bumper hanging off there. But let's watch the drone, the eye in the sky. Straight line initiation, gets the car to angle nicely. Could have been a little bit deeper there. Transitioning the car, maybe, yeah, he did go off a little bit. So in the beginning of the zone, you can see he dropped the tire. Maybe that's due to that late transition, but overall, pretty good run from him. Does a little wall tap right there, a little bobble in the middle of outside zone number 4 as well.
And here we are. Look at St. Louis, man, the gateway to the West, the home of the Blues, the Cardinals, and a good time. St. Louis Auto Show. Yeah, got some St. Louis barbecue, some good beers, Anheuser-Busch. You got, what else I hear? You got Great Notion Brewing. You got Civil Life, and got some karting here on track. Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology, a solution. So a good time here from Cup Series to IndyCar and Formula Drift. The 79 for Mike Power puts him into 12th position. So some bobbles here and there, some tapping of the walls. We have yet to see, no, we did see the incomplete of Dan Burkett, unfortunately. So right now, again, I believe we have 35 vehicles in total. Again, Darren Kelly will be a scratch, and that's a DNS, so that will drop it down to 35 vehicles. This Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah, Kentucky, that is. The AZ Rag. You can see that coming into that second outside zone. This thing, obnoxious in a great way, just loud. This thing pops off, turbocharged LS into this final outside zone, just quickly expediting it. I think one of the loudest vehicles on grid. Throw some dirt on it, it'll be fine. Just referencing round one, went into the wall. But here we go. Ryan.
Here we go. Straight line initiation. Good initiation, though. Snapped to angle nicely. Decent job in outside zone one. Looking at the transition here. Watching it live, you can see he had a long handbrake pull and looked a little bit cautious going into zone two. So that might be something the style judge will be deducting for. Transition there into four, looked pretty good, got to a big amount of angle. May have stalled up slightly on momentum there through the zone, but overall looked pretty smooth. So let's watch it from the POV drone here. Decent job in outside zone number one. And right there was a long handbrake pull as he came into outside zone number two. Coming to outside zone three, decent angle through there. You can see it's steady, stable. And then going to outside zone four, nice big angle through that area as well. Decent on line also.
I choose you, Jonathan Hurst. So Jonathan Hurst went into the wall in Long Beach, and look at that smile. That guy right there, he gives flowers to his mom every Mother's Day. That guy right there.
Maybe even just on a random Saturday or something.
Yeah, and he calls his mom every Sunday. That guy right there.
I would believe that.
Yeah, Jonathan Hurst. Yeah, so I think we're about 35 drivers. Again, I always say just, looking at our drivers list here, because next up was to be Darren Kelly. He's a scratch, so that knocks us down to 35 drivers because Josh Reynolds is not here. So 3 vehicles, respectively, and drivers will not be on grid for tomorrow's head-to-head competition. That's the major game day. Alec Robbins coming to us from Becker, Minnesota. Alec Robbins, the Facetto Nissan 350Z. This guy just has really progressed, like his driving style, just where it's at, and watch. It seems very fast, but has just gotten a little more refined and calculated as he progresses through the F1 Championship. Didn't get exactly all the way deep into that second outside zone. The third really absolutely tightened the screws on there. Oh, that was an interesting, awkward kind of line that didn't set him up. You saw him kind of go in and go out. It was just kind of a beeline towards that finish line.
Yeah, I think he tapped the wall, which made him go a little bit straight for a second. I don't mean straight in terms of
course.
The car straightening out, but I mean his line. He was still at an angle, but it sort of forced the car to go straight along the wall. That arc was interrupted, so I think that's what may have messed him up there. And I'd also like to see if he touched the rumble strip before outside zone 2 as well. So let's look at his line there. Not deep enough in outside zone number 1. Transition, yeah, he definitely went up on that outside zone 2 rumble strip. It didn't upset him too much, but in terms of angle, but I think his line maybe got disturbed. And then we got the old drone view coming up here. We'll be able to see the eye in the sky, and it's going to show us exactly what happened on outside zone number 2 with the rumble strip touch and also the wall tap in outside zone 4. So look at the transition here. So you can see that maybe it wasn't too disturbed too much by going over that rumble strip in zone 2. But let's watch outside zone 4. So you can see right there the wall tap, the car the angle was controlled for a second, and then he got back at angle, but definitely was affected by touching that wall before outside zone number 4. But it's a risk you need to take. You have to be wide there to get the proper line. So right here, boom, there was a little tap, little handbrake pull to try to keep the car at angle, and then made it through.
A lot of these guys, we talked about just the heat and the conditions halfway through the season. We talk about attrition and you know, drivers' wherewithal, but of course the teams, they work hard, and I know a lot of the teams worked through the night to get their vehicles, and he's got a few drivers, but Simon Olsen, I know he popped his engine. Alec Robbins, this guy shreds a Bob's what is it? What's the snow motorbike? What do you? Oh my gosh, not a bobsled. What do you call the snowmobile? Thank you. I just couldn't put those two words together.
The motorcycle
like
that rides on
bobsled.
snow.
I'm like a motorcycle on snow. couldn't think of snowmobile. Yeah, snow cycle. All right, so there's that guy. That's what he does. Snowmobiling.
Okay.
Yeah, he could bring a snowmobile out here and shred it
on the pavement.
A bobsled. Yeah. He could bring a bobsled. He's joined the Cool Runnings. He has an egg riding shotgun with him. All right, so you can see the scores right now. There is our K&N qualifying leaderboard. So Burkett with the lone incomplete. I was elaborating a little bit on some of the drivers and teams working through the night. One is Simon Olsen. I know he popped his engine, worked through the night. Only 2 runs on his engine. Right now it's Kazuya Taguchi. And Alec Robbins with that 70. And here we go. Kazuya Taguchi up garage, ISR performance. Now this thing running that GTR engine in that second outside zone. Nice job. That was, again, that could fare well for him in the style category. Let's see how his line is. Yo, look at Kazuya Taguchi.
Wow.
Woo-wee. Well done by Taguchi. Very exciting. Great run by Taguchi, man.
Very precise.
Yeah, like that. But as precise as it was gangster going from 1 to 2.
Yeah. As he runs up to initiation here, nice little flick to angle. Yeah. Really nice line through outside zone 1. Good transition here, and the level of difficulty and the level of, you know, the X Factor side of things, very, very high. Could have been slightly deeper in outside zone 3. A couple of bobbles through there, but look at his line and angle through zone 4. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect run.
A little bit of correction in 3. Am I mistaken?
But the outside zone 4 was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So looking at the angle here, really good angle through outside zone 1 too. This view just gives us a really good indication. That transition was so good. Got the car slowed perfectly for outside zone number 2. His line and a little bobble there through outside zone number 3 was a little bit off, but then 4, so good through 4. Beautifully done by Kazuya Taguchi.
Yeah, Taguchi did a really good job there. Let's ride shotgun. So there's that quick little correction going into 3. Didn't even really need it because he wasn't going to go off course. But yeah, almost dropping a GT radial tire tread off on outside zone 4, but just barely. And do we have a new leader? Yes, we do. Kazuya Taguchi with a 91. I believe that's the highest qualifying score we've seen from him, and just going off a kind of a quick jogging of my memory, that up garage ISR performance. He calls it a Scion FRS, but obviously the Scion brand, no Moss. So an 86, a BRZ, regardless. That chassis, that is Kazuya Taguchi's, now our #1 qualifier. Great job. Jeff Jones, who's had a bit of bad luck, but still always a smile on his face and just has a great time. This Evil AutoWorks Nissan 370Z, running that Edelbrock supercharger. Jeff Jones coming to us from LA, from Southern California. I know he's gotten some tough breaks lately, so would love to see him smile big. See what you got, Jeff. Big flip. So take a little bit of angle out of it. Now into that second outside zone. Dials it in. See how it goes in that third outside zone. Minimal correction. I mean, no correction, excuse me. Now in that final outside zone. Man, harnessing a little bit of Taguchi spirit as he just saw what it takes to be that #1 qualifier. Some quick little corrections and jogging of the wheel and reflective in those front wheels. But overall, like I said, Jeff Jones, I know I talked with him in New Jersey. He's had to move shops. He's had to do this. He's had to do that. He's had a really full plate, and you know, some things got to give.
Big flick at initiation here. Yeah, little bobble there in outside zone #1. You can see him left foot braking, trying to keep the car at angle. Transition was slightly hesitational there, just a little bit going into outside zone. number 2. Great line and angle through outside zone 3, and really nice angle and line through outside zone 4 as well. So second part of the track was really well done. Had a couple of bobble, errors there in zone number 1. You can see that bobble right there. And then going into 2, it looked like there was a slight hesitation right there. And then he gets the car to angle through the second half of outside zone number 2. But outside zone 3, look at that. Angle, line, on point. Zone 4, big angle, great line. Awesome job on the second part of that track.
Seems like Jeff, he didn't have the New Jersey that he was expecting, so I think he had a little more in the tank left over from Jersey, so that flowing over into St. Louis. Look at this big backdrop here. St. Louis off in the distance, and just such a great city. Like I said, I come out here every year for the St. Louis Auto Show, and a lot of automotive fans here in this area on Worldwide Technology Raceway here in Madison, Illinois, just across the river. 81, congrats, Jeff Jones. We'll see you in the show. So, as Jeff Jones completes his run, we're 24 deep in a 35-ish driver field. We'll see if that's where it's at. And there we are with our leaderboard. Taguchi high atop it, the K&N qualifying leaderboard. Pollock, Hughes, Field, and Reeder are top 5. You can see Turk, Gucci, Essa, Stuckey, and Hurst. We'll take a short break. When we come back, our K&N knockout qualifying continues. K&N, the official performance filter of Formula Drift. When we come back, more qualifying here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries. Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. 'Cause I'll be on the way. Yeah. You know I'll be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I'll be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way.
For those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
Rockstar energy drink. There's Matt Wall, the twin turbo figure. As you see, Tanner fast going through the paces. Solid line here. Great angle. Woo! Good initiation from Dot. Did you see that main flick entry? Just gangster right there.
Great job right there by Osmo, but look at Odie Bocci's diving right in on the attacking
Positioning now. Ryan Turf really needs to show up. He went off course. Tightens up to the front clip. As is Freddie. The Norwegian hammer gets sweated by Danoka. And then he just keeps on going past. Osmo fills all that outside zone. Michael, that's a right there. Looking in roll tide. Here we Cosmo right there. And now bring her on that final clip. Approach, pull the tire up.
So qualifying playing a role here in Long.
Welcome back. Casual Friday here. It's a marathon of a weekend as we kick things off last night for Pro Spec qualifying. We'll have Pro Spec Top 32 later as we are more than halfway through our Pro qualifying. Thank you to our fans for joining us. How are we doing out there, St. Louis Worldwide Technology Raceway? Look at this guy. That guy's sweating. He's hyped. That left hand, the blue shirt with a hat. Thanks, dog. I appreciate you. And got some umbrellas out there. Smart cats. I'm talking to you. Can you hear me out there? Worldwide Technology Raceway. Let me hear you. There it is. Oh, there we go. Now that guy hyped. 2 black shirts. I don't know if black's the smart decision here today, kids. It's going to end up all salty. You're going to get those salt stains, you know, when you get like really sweaty and later on you're like, oh my gosh, I sweat a lot today. This guy got a cowboy hat on. That guy's ready. That guy, look at that. Yep, that's you. That's you right there, homeboy.
At least we know they're listening.
They are. Surprisingly. They haven't tuned us out yet. They can't turn us off. You know, when people play video games, you can turn off the announcer. Can't do that if you're in the stands. You can definitely do it if you're at home, but you're missing all the antics. That is the Ryan Lantain, the Canadian, the Cowboy Show. That's what it's called now.
Need some good earplugs out here if you want to block us out.
Nick Novak loves Nickelback, contrary to popular belief. Look at this drift photograph right here. Coro Works, BMW. Let's see what you got. Oh, nice job by Nick Novak. This gentleman speaks softly, carries big angle. Nice job by Novak. Into that third outside zone. Man, just zip-tied his gas pedal down. Ooh, into that last outside zone. Little lift there, but like the line, just kind of puckered up, grabbed some seat with his rear end, and then kept on into it. Well done there by Nick Novak. The Koenig wheels wrapped in some GT radial. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Love this initiation, Jared. See the car rotating the angle here. Boom, into big angle. Very accurate. There was just a slight bobble in that front wheel, but overall, really well done. Long e-brake pull there and a tire up on the rumble strip, but it helps them get a good line right outside zone number 2. Could have been deeper in outside zone 3, though. Didn't quite get all the way out there. And right there, like you said, there was a little lift, a little hesitation, but angle stayed consistent, and his line was pretty solid through outside zone number 4. So let's watch it from the Truth Serum. Big flick to initiation. Look at that.
Clean.
Great line, great
Sterile.
angle. Transitioning here. Tire up on the rumble strip, which could have disturbed him, but it didn't. Looked like he did a pretty good job of controlling the car. Could have been a little deeper in 3, and then transition right there, lift, and then back on throttle through the rest of it. Could have been a little bit deeper in 4 as well, so maybe a point or 2 taken off from the line judge in that area as well.
But overall, I think he took some risks, which I think ended up paying off. He took the risks in precarious places, like you said, the rumble strip and the wall. Those are unforgiving. So as we see Adam LZ now in that Pedal Commander burnout box, the AutoZone Fun Haver BC Racing Mustang RTR Spec 5D on Nitto tires. That's Adam LZ. A lot of fans online watching him. Sometimes even crashing the internet just because he's got so many fans. Great run by Nick Novak, and 81. So back-to-back 81. Saw Jeff Jones and now Novak. Look at that. That guy loves golden retrievers. Yeah,
and they love him.
And they do. That guy.
They can tell.
Yeah, he has this call. I don't know if you've heard it. Uses it, and all the golden retrievers come his way. It's crazy.
I had a dog come to me at the airport the other day.
Oh, really?
It was a airport therapy dog, and they brought him over and they said, "Sir, you are the happiest looking person we've seen all day with this dog walking towards you." And I pet him, and there was hair everywhere, but it was fantastic.
That's great. All right, Adam LZ now throwing down his Mustang RTR Spec 5D. All the LZ fans cheering him on deep into that first outside zone. Let's see what LZ's got for us in the remaining 3 outside zones. You saw a little bit of hiccup there in that outside zone 2, staying very clear of that wall. Outside zone 3 puts it in there, the Nitto tires. You can see rubbing into that outside zone 4, big angle there. And just digging on deep. Good job by Adam LZ. Pretty straightforward.
Whoa.
And we go into a spin cycle.
Did we just lose the drone? Anyway,
Droney out.
Looking at the initiation there, nice flick to initiation, big angle and good line through outside zone number 1. On his transition here, he sort of was a little bit too cautious. You could see a little hesitation there, kind of a stall up slightly going into outside zone 2. And then outside zone 3 doesn't fill it all the way. Transitioning to 4, big angle and good line through 4. Look at that angle through there. Nicely done on the latter half of the track. So let's watch on the FPV drone before it went into a tailspin. As he initiates, great line all the way wide through outside zone 1. Decent angle through there as well. Nice, but right there was that slight hesitation, and he didn't quite fill outside zone 2 to the fullest. Outside zone 3 was on throttle, but kind of missed the latter half. And then right there, big lift, and but gets back on throttle, big angle through the rest of outside zone number 4.
And right here, poing. That's where the drone, that's why you bring more drones to the party. And we'll reset that drone. That's, you know, the bumper budget. We got a drone budget here. Right, Kemp? Yeah. So race officials making sure everything's cool. I think drone down, but it's all good. So good run by Adam LZ. A lot of fans can, I think, breathe comfortably. I mean, I'm seeing 80s, 90s. So the conundrum is when we see all these high scores and only one incomplete, that's where you start getting, you know, is a 70 safe? A 79 for Adam LZ with that throwback Ford Racing hat right there. That guy, he's got a really cool vintage Ford shirt underneath that race suit. That's
a big claim you made there,
yeah,
based on that vintage Ford hat.
I'm just, you know, just throwing it out there. I think that guy's got some classic Ford Racing shirt underneath that sweet Alpine Stars racing suit.
Been putting some time in on that mustache too.
Mustache? I must ask you a question. Kazuya Taguchi out front. Is that deservedly so? I do agree. A great run there. There's a top 10. And just this year, not only are we getting overall winners, but just, you know, look at Stuckey, look at, you know, Hurst, just all these names coming up and rattling things. And talk about another gentleman and his team working hard. This Hypercar, HyperNFT.io going off course. They worked hard to get this car back on track. And here it is, they work in a 98-degree temp to get it back. And now the sweat equity paying off into that third outside zone. Dial it in, Dean. Carnage goes through his own brown cloud. Comes up a bit short. And now bringing it across the finish line. Dean Carnage Carney might get some debris in his eye.
Yeah, Dean Carney went it was an incredible initiation. Watch the rate to angle, bang, but isn't able to keep it on the track. Almost goes 3 off, but manages to keep that front right on the track, but that's definitely 2 tires way off the track. And right there you could hear that he had to lift quite a bit because he was going really wide before outside zone 3, so his line wasn't ideal. And then he gets lost in that brown cloud on this view right here. We won't be able to see much of what he's doing, but right here, this will be a good view. So 2 tires way off in the dirt, big slowdown there, and then gets back on throttle through outside zone number 2. As he goes to 3, you can see that he was going to be really early there, and he does miss the latter half of outside zone number 3, but gets back on it for outside zone 4, not fully filling that zone. This should give us a really good view here from the sky. You can see he was quite a bit off. His momentum was disturbed there in that area, and then as he goes really wide here, he has to kind of lift off so the car doesn't go too wide and then get back on that throttle to fill outside zone 3. And as he comes through 4, off it a little bit, but decent angle through that area.
All right, so D-Idioms is back at it. Nice.
As he should be.
Yeah, there was some, I think there was some gold yesterday. A little more gold yesterday, but I'm cool with it. Yeah. 67, so that is threatening of being in the bottom 8. Come on, Carnage. Like I said, the team working hard, 98-degree temps yesterday, and there we go. Boy, ready? Yay! And see, we're all good. Hey, Kyle Cross, how we doing?
Look at that guy.
Oh boy, he's St. Louis's own.
Just earned himself a drone.
Yeah. You get a drone. You get a drone. Kyle Cross gets a drone. The things you'll see at Formula Drift. And waiting for Jonathan Castro. Blowing off the course. All right, cleaning up the track as we saw Dean Carnage blow that brown cloud onto the course. Dude, these hoverboards are getting out of hand these days. Look at these things. All right, if you haven't already picked up your official Formula Drift merchandise, do it now. We got some time. We're clearing up the track. ShopFD.com. And if you act now, we're giving away a complimentary sticker pack. It's not free. It's compliments of Formula Drift. So go to ShopFD.com and receive a complimentary sticker pack courtesy of Formula Drift. Buy, support, let everybody know you're a Formula Drift fan. The premier international drifting sanctioning body. So available at every Formula Drift event. So if you're here this weekend or if you're at home, shopfd.com now. A variety of goods from shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and Kazuya Taguchi. Feeling it. Snoots to the booch. Well done.
What?
Taguchi. 91. Does this deserve it? Obviously, Ryan, I'm not going to ask you. You're a judge, so you dictated the 1, 2, 3. Outside zone 3. What I really liked is zone 4. Watch this. Bingo, bongo. Take the topo. Kazuya Taguchi pulls through. Nice job. Current leading scorer. Let's listen. Ryan, that looks like something you would see in your native country of Canada. It looks like a Mountie. He's only missing the
blower?
Mountie hat.
Oh, the person on the blower. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just missing the hat.
Not the blower itself, not
yeah,
the machine.
you confused me.
But
Yeah.
also in
It does look like a
where it
Mountie
does-
uniform slightly. He's missing the leather boots, the knee-high leather boots, and the hat.
The Mountie hat.
And then he'll be
And
a Mountie.
it's blowing the track, not snow.
Yeah, that would you'd need to have a very light dusting of snow for that
And
thing to do it.
I just heard him say sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, he just said sorry, and
Sorry.
he just exited.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, Brian Eggert, Ryan Lontaine, co-host and double duty judge as well, alongside Chris Yule, who's ruling with that iron finger because he's hitting that pad. Here's the sector map. Now, Ryan, we talked about this on the front of the show, but it bears repeating. Our first ever track where there's no inside clips. Flowy, but also difficult.
Flowy. That's a good way to put it. We've been working towards this no inside clip thing for a long time. We try to minimize them as much as possible, but sometimes you just can't help it. But at this track, we managed to convince the track management to, get us some walls over there and make sure it was safe. And then we were able to do our outside zone that we've wanted for so long, Jared.
Here we go. Jonathan Castro, excited to see how he throws it down. Castro, the Drago Meppeldahl Mobile 1 Toyota GR86.
Whoa,
oh,
what happened
boy.
there?
So Castro, unfortunately, this car was thrashed to get to round 1. I think he's going to complete the entirety of the course. I don't think he was kind of clean. Didn't bring any dirt. And that
Sounds like he had a power steering issue earlier, and maybe it just came up again.
even in the
during this
burnout
run.
box. Even in the burnout box, he was steering kind of wonky, and he made the decision to go for it. But I don't think that was the right decision. But
What was the alternative,
Yep.
really?
Yep. So here he goes. Watch him initiate. Can't see in the cockpit really. Snaps back. And yeah, just it didn't want to transfer.
Yep.
So unfortunate. That's unfortunate for him, fortunate for some of the other drivers. Maybe breathe a sigh of relief if you got a low score. But watch Castro here from the upper decks. Just goes to transfer and didn't come around.
Yeah, and it didn't stay at angle for long enough either. He would have had to stay on throttle longer and then transition the car, and maybe the power steering gave up and the car just straightened up. Not really sure what happened there, but they will certainly have a look at it for what will be his second attempt very shortly. There is the leaderboard with Taguchi at the top with a 91, Pollock in second with a 90, and then we get down into the mid-80s with Hughes, Field, Reeder, Turek, and look at Osbo all the way down to 11th position with an 82. And then Rome with an 80. Denofa down in 20th position with a 76.
Look at Forsberg, who's third in points as well. He's down there in 21st.
Yeah.
You know, so again, the not so great 8. 2 drivers already for sure in there, that being Burkett and Castro.
What does the gray mean at the bottom, Jared?
We'll get into that. The gray will be the bottom 8.
Ah, okay.
So
they don't have scores yet. They haven't really
they haven't
filtered into where they should be.
Don't go off of
the color.
Anything lower. Yeah, don't go off the color of the current leaderboard.
Very good.
K&N knockout qualifying continues. K&N, the official performance filter of a Ford Formula Drift, as Federico Sharifo driving Fiorella. This GTB Ferrari coming out. Looking a little aggressive right now. Let's see. The Italian flag on the wheels, spinning around into that second outside zone. I know he's been working on his vehicle as well, another driver trying to get this car dialed and into that second outside zone. Seems to be working out all right. Oh, and goes 2 tires off. That would have been in the graph respectively. So again, elaborating on that final outside zone. You can see the block there with no stripes on it. That is the outside zone. Go any further where it's striped, imagine that being grass like it is on outside zone 3. So we would have gone 2 tires off into the grass.
Yeah, he's really aggressive coming up to initiation. You can see the car kind of wiggling all over the place, but great line on outside zone 1. He was wide there, on throttle, good angle. Transitions here with a long handbrake pull, though, going to outside zone 2. So Chris will definitely be doing a deduction or 2 for that. And then outside zone 3, really great line. But what I don't like is that he decelled before transitioning for outside zone number 4. And then when he gets into 4, he does drop a tire, potentially 2 on that zone. So let's watch from the eye in the sky. Look at that line through outside zone number 1. Leaves it just slightly early, but great job through there. Big handbrake pull into 2. And then you can see right here, gets on throttle, slightly lower angle through zone 3, pours it on right there, slows down a little bit, and then goes 1, maybe 2 tires off through outside zone number 4, but with decent angle.
All right, let's take a look at Federico's score and see what we got here. And Ryan Littoral will be up next, flying the RB Army flag.
Is the RB versus JZ thing still a
course.
thing?
I think it always
I know
is.
in general it is, but I mean in FD between him and some JZ boys.
Yeah, I think it'll always be. I mean, if you look at Ryan Littoral, he has been campaigning that RB for quite some time, and the 2J always, you know, a trusty
power unit.
Thank you. Gosh, like I said, I'm just balking on some of these references here today. It's a long weekend, but excited to.
We'll have to get you some brain supplements, Jared.
I know, thank you. I know Saban's got quite a few over there. Here we go. Ryan Little, that Power Stop GT Radial S15 with that RB power plant into that second outside zone. Looks like he is absolutely dialed into the third, and now coming on in. This could be a great run for Ryan Little, and it is a really strong run by Ryan Little.
What do you think that is dangling off the side of his car, Jared? Is that a camera?
I think either a camera or, yeah, it might be a light or something. But obviously, nothing critical because he had a great
still
run.
Going. Yep. As he drives up to initiation here, nice little flick. Gets the car to angle. Not filling outside zone 1 completely. Transitioning here towards outside zone number 2. Decent line through there. Definitely on throttle. You can see him going through outside zone number 3 there. okay angle through there, and then going through outside zone number 4. Like to see more angle through there, but line was okay as he went through that section of the track.
Here we go from the bird's eye view of Ryan Littoral. First outside zone, now into the second. Feeling all of it. Now into the third, you can see him. Really good fluidity is what I liked from Ryan Littoral. Wasn't really choppy, didn't break it up. Had good transitions. And taking a look, you can see the UN08 shirts over there. Now those are students from the University of Northwestern Ohio. It's a private university in Lima, Ohio. And it is a trade school, so we'll have some more information on that. But as Ryan Littoral gains a 73 for Ryan Littoral.
Currently only 2 incompletes, Jared, but we still have quite a few drivers to go yet. I'm not sure. You said some drivers aren't here. Is that correct, or not going to be competing?
I believe we have 6 drivers left, including that of Joao Berrion. Okay. But Josh Reynolds is not present in the building. He's at the bottom of the drivers list. Okay. So with Josh Reynolds and Darren Kelly not here, that would mean we have 35 drivers. Darren Kelly is here, but unfortunately we elaborated on his engine issues. So that would mean 35 drivers on starting grid for qualifying.
Okay.
Joao Berrion, Barbarius Monster Energy Corvette from Brazil. How do you pronounce it? Marília? São Paulo?
You say Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Here we go. Joao Berrion into that second outside zone, or now coming, into that second outside zone now. And nice line there from him. He's got more power. He says he just has more. I remember him talking about his car. A good angle there, but we saw how close he was as we get up in the sky. Let's see what Joao's got from a different perspective, kind of using all the angles here. What do you think, Ryan?
So his line wasn't ideal through outside zone 1. Could have been deeper through there, but he's definitely on throttle. Up on the rumble strip just before outside zone number 2, but it doesn't affect him too much, and he's able to stay on throttle. You can see he went wide early for outside zone number 3, which caused him to miss the latter half of that zone. So he went wide to the edge of the track way too early, and because of that, that arc couldn't be drawn all the way down the zone, so he did leave it earlier than he should have. So if you watch here, he goes to that edge early and then leaves the zone a little bit early as well. As he transitions there for outside zone 4, we'll pick it up again here from outside zone number 1 to outside zone number 2. Definitely on throttle, Jared. You can't say that he's not making some smoke out there. So he does drop a tire there, leaves outside zone 3 early, and then transitions for 4. Big handbrake pull, bobble there as he goes through outside zone number 4.
Joao on the scales, checking his fight and weight. See Castro and Littoral backed up here a little bit. And Castro will have to go to that not so great 8th, the knockout qualifying. Again, we take all the drivers that are not in the bottom 8 qualifying. And then, so that means with 35 drivers, we're gonna have 3 drivers in their cars watching from the sidelines. A 72, that's flirting with, I mean, we got 67 from Dean Carney. You know, he's hoping that we see some incompletes, but even then, 5 drivers left. If all these got incompletes, I think that's the lowest with a score is a 67, unfortunately for Dean. But if you're in the low 70s, if you're in mid 70s or higher, I think you're going to be safe, but don't quote me on that. Again, Simon Olsen, we wanted to let everybody know, worked on his vehicle through the night. I know they had some engine issues. Running a 2J, he's got that boost race fuel. Great looking, all new Toyota Supra. He's coming to us from Norway. And worked through the night. Only 2 runs on this setup here. Running the HGK kit from Latvia. Shout out to our boy Kristaps Blush. When are you coming back, Kristaps? to see you, my G. See you back here in the States. Simon Olsen, Norwegian Drift champion. Boost Race Fuel Supra now coming into the second outside zone. Runs, we don't need stinking runs, just 2 in the books. Let's go, Simon. This might be the confidence booster of the Race Fuel now coming to that final outside zone. Pretty great run there for Simon Olsen. He talks about his nerves in qualifying, and you know what? That's when kind of you throw caution to the wind and go for it, and because he has nothing to lose. He knows his team worked hard and got it up to the start line, and now it rests on his shoulders.
Yep.
Great run.
Little flick here to initiation. Race angle was pretty decent. Nice line through outside zone 1. As he transitions the car right there, stays off the rumble strip, but doesn't go super deep in outside zone number 2. So it'll lose a point or 2 on line there from Brian Eggert. Going through outside zone 3, really nice line through there. Pretty stable angle, looks pretty good. And then outside zone 4, could have been a little bit deeper early on there, and his angle wasn't as big as we've seen from other drivers. So leaving a few points on the board there. So let's look at it from the eye in the sky. Decent on 1, good transition there, but not deep, as deep as we'd like to see in outside zone number 2. Going to 3, leaves, yeah, did pretty good job through 3 there, and then not as deep as he could be in the beginning of 4, but definitely pushes the car back there a little bit as he gets through the latter half of outside zone 4.
With the cloud cover just kind of hovering throughout the day, I think it's a little bit of relief from the sun, and with the little sprinkle we saw early on, if you're just joining us, for the first few vehicles, it sprinkled so that everybody had some sight laps early on. 77 for Simon Olsen. So what I was beginning to say is the cloud cover, the sun's not as intense. It's not beating down on obviously the fans here in the building and the drivers and the teams. So I think it's helped a little bit there with the conditions, but overall it definitely, you know, you got to think humidity and the heat and keeping the engines together. So Simon Olsen receives that 77. And another Norwegian driver, Ola Jaeger, Team Japan Auto, next entire Toyota Supra. He's happy to get his Toyota Supra delivered to him.
I like that pavement art there from the sky. It's kind of cool.
Just that kind of cul-de-sac of rubber laid out right in front of the start line.
Really nice.
Yeah, and what's really cool too is if you watch IndyCar here or NASCAR, there's residual left.
Ah, that's nice.
It's just like, hey,
in our mark.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ola Jaeger into the Japan Auto Supra into the outside zone 1. Outside zone 2, big nasty swing there. You can see minimal correction. Look at those front wheels, not even flinching. Kind of feel like you throw a punch at him. He's not moving, man. That guy's rock solid right now. Ola Jaeger, another Viking from Norway, flirting with that wall. The wall does not flinch either.
No, he definitely didn't have an ideal line going through outside zone 4, and it sent him on a weird trajectory up towards the wall, which we don't often see. But let's look at it on the replay. Little flick there towards initiation. Not the rotation we'd like to see from him at initiation. It was a little bit lazy. Not a whole lot of angle through any of these zones either. So you can see there, his angle is stable, but it's not very high. Look at through 3. He pours it on at the end, but 4 as well. Not a lot of angle. If you look at his line, he goes really wide at the end and then goes up towards the wall. So we will see that a little bit better here as we look at the drone from the sky way up high. So you can see there his line suffering a little bit, angle not super high, transitions, again, not a lot of angle. I'd like to see more. I think that's going to be something that's going to hold him back here in terms of his points. Not ideal, I'd like to see more.
You are the angle judge. That is your category. That's in your lane. And you stay in your lane, Ryan.
I will.
Yeah. You stay right there, okay, buddy?
Right in your lane.
Yeah. But with angle. Can you do that? Stay in your lane with angle.
No promises.
Thank you. All right. 3 more drivers left. Kyle Mohan, Trenton Beecham, and Joshua Love. Everybody wants some loving. We're going to get some. And at the end of our qualifying, remember, we'll re-rack them, track them, pack them, stack them, crack them if you're a chiropractor. Yeah. Readjust. We're going to get our not-so-great 8 in just a moment. But we have 3 more drivers left to complete their first run. Every driver gets 1 run, and then some have to go to the bottom, and I believe Ola Jaeger will be one of them. So you talk about that angle, 20 out of 30, line 29. So respectively good in line category, but style, man, Chris Yule. He'll be tough on him. Taguchi still up top. Can he get beat as we have only 3 more drivers? And that's got to be really great for Kazuya Taguchi. Qualifying strong, understands the line, but now head-to-head is the name of the game, and that will go down tomorrow for Pro. As we take a look, you can see Carney, Yeager, Robbins, those drivers currently bottom 5, and we have 3 more drivers left. Where will Mohan land? Renewable Lubricants, Mazda Tricks, Mazda RX-8 from Long Beach, California. Strong Beach putting it down, the Menace. What do you got for us? Filling all that outside zone 1. The lone rotary out here on track gets into outside zone 2. This track could fare him well. Look at that. Uses all the course, just barely knocks over that BC Racing clip. Ooh, drops a tire there, but still keeps on track. We saw that from other drivers. He's still, you know, not too badly affecting their score. So a good job by Kyle Mohan. Not bad for the lone rotary, baby. Last Starfighter, last Dorito fighter.
Yeah, the one thing I wasn't impressed with was the big decel before outside zone 1 pointing in the wrong direction. But let's have a look at the run overall. As he gets to initiation here, not the fastest rotation, but does get to angle. Pretty good line on outside zone 1. And right here, not bad on the line there. He got really wide on outside zone number 2, close to the wall. Right here, filling outside zone 3 nicely on throttle. And then look right there, decelling with the nose pointing at the wall. Not really what we want to see. We want to see him on throttle, carrying that momentum until he transitions the car and then slowing the car down. So let's watch it from this Truth Serum drone here. Pretty decent line there. You can see he got the car decelled and then got back on throttle. That is a decel zone there, so it's totally kosher there. Great line through outside zone 3, and then right there was that kind of hesitation, slowdown, pointing at the wall before the transition. So that's going to hurt him on the style side of things from our good friend Chris Uhl up here with us in the booth.
All right, 2 more drivers left, Beecham and Love. Waiting for Mohan's score. You could see Castro's hood popped down in the tech inspection area, and a 71. So I believe we will see if he is safe. I talked about those lower 70 scores threatening of having to go into the second run. Trent Beecham, Clone X Racing, Nexon Tires, Ford Mustang. Notably the Ford Mustang with an LS power plant. So some would call that, you know, kind of a Frankenstein or even an abomination, you know, like, what are you doing? You know, but hey, run it how you see fit, you know? I mean, you look at Dylan Hughes, he's got a 2J, he's got a Toyota power plant and a European car, right? And then you got Travis Reeder, LS with a BMW, whatever, bro. Run what you
Kelsey Rawlings has a Nissan with a Ford motor too. So.
Exactly. Deal with it, Crab.
What does it matter, really?
Yeah, handle it.
Spins the tires, it makes noise.
Business, man. Yeah. America. Celebrate all of the eclecticism that is Formula Drift.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. This is Trenton Beecham. His first qualifying run. Let's see what you got here. Comes from Southern California, Agora Hills to be exact. Now in this second outside zone, let's see what the cloner, a little delay, failure to launch. That'll be a barrel incomplete. No whammies, stop. And the whammy. So unfortunately, Trenton Beecham will have to have his second run. Seemed to be a little bit on the struggle bus, unfortunately, in practice. And here is our K&N knockout qualifying leaderboard. You can see, so look at that, the 67 of Yeager, Carney, Robbins, Mohan, so 3 incompletes. Yeah, 72 you are in, because right now you can see Yeah, 73 you're in for sure. 73 you're in. So Josh Love, our final driver here, the Jasper Keys After Hours Autosports E46 BMW. You know, Robbins, I liked his run. He needs to tighten it up a little bit. Remember, 3 drivers are going to be watching from the sidelines tomorrow. Burkett, I apologize, I cursed him. I said this is going to be a good run. Ola Jaeger, he's behind the wheel of his own Supra. He says he's going to feel a lot more comfortable behind the wheel of his own Supra as opposed to a borrowed vehicle. But look at this. Black Hearts, baby. Oh, changed in livery. This is Black Love. Look at this. As he says, he texts me, he says Black Hearts only. He told me about this. And here we go. Jasper Keys, After Hours Autosports going into tonight. The Big Duck Club still rocking it. And now Blackheart coming into that 3rd outside zone. Into that final outside zone. What do we got here? Josh Love, big angle. Like to see that different perspective of that last outside zone. Yep. Looked aggressive. I feel like this doesn't have the full. What's this? The memories and not. Okay. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what successory hang in there on the back. I don't know what's going on.
Need a bigger font maybe on that one.
Yeah.
So looking at his initiation from the eye in the sky, pretty decent initiation there. Gets outside zone 1 filled nicely. Transitioning to outside zone 2, tire right on the line for the first part. Comes off a little bit there as he gets close to the wall. Low angle approaching outside zone 3, but pours it on slightly through the zone. Transitioning the car for outside zone number 4. Nice tire on the line there with decent angle through outside zone 4. Looked like he had a good momentum throughout the course. Didn't really chop it up at all, so decent run from him.
Let's see where our final driver lands. Josh Love, Jasper Keys Apparel, if you haven't seen them. Soft threads for the Spiritual Outlaw from Denver, Colorado. And a 79. So Josh Love with that new livery, bringing him some love. So, all right, full send mentality. Jasper Keys supporting him, having some fun. Nice job there. All right. So there we are, taking a look at our K&N air filter qualifying leaderboard. Looks like with those 3 incompletes, obviously you are in the bottom 8. And again, unofficially, it looks like Jaeger, Carney, Robbins, and we'll get to the bottom of that, literally and figuratively. Kidder Marshall in the building. Thank you so much. Lauren and HD, SD is in the building. And we'll have a special guest coming in here for our not so great 8s. The Dozer, Dylan Hughes. So those are the 8. So no, that's not. What's going on here? Is that who's running? Is Bakshi's running? 72? Wow. That is true. So those are the not so great 8. Odie Bakshis, who is a true championship contender with a 72. Mohan, Robbins, Carney, Jaeger, Burkett, Castro, and Beecham. We'll take a short break and look at that. The 8 that are running. Re-rack them, track them, and stack them. 3 drivers of those 8 will not be seen head-to-head competition. Who will it be? Who's moving on? Who's not moving on? We'll find out when we come back here, round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
Throttle, official sponsor of Formula Drift. Join the social app for car enthusiasts. Watch exclusive FD clips powered by Throttle. Join the social app that brings together car lovers from across the globe. Go full throttle and download the app now.
You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. 'Cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. I'm on the way.
Made in Japan. Breed.
Your future in high-performance motorsports begins at the University of Northwestern Ohio.
There is no other school like UNOH to teach you the things, not only for Monster Jam, but for the hot rod community.
With 70% hands-on learning, no out-of-state tuition, and top-of-the-line instructors, you'll go from learning to earning with the industry leader in motorsports education.
I love waking up to come to school.
This facility here has all the tools and instructors and knowledge that you need to go out and be successful in the field.
Your journey to the fast lane begins at UNOH.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Link ECU, Link Engine Management, official ECU of Formula Drift. K&N, the official performance filter of Formula Drift. And FCP Euro, an official sponsor of the Link ECU Pro Spec Championship.
Okay, well, that's as far as my brain let me go, all right? You got anything to add?
Sure. So, what do you do for transmission maintenance between rounds, or is there anything that you regularly break or have issues with?
With our transmissions we run, so this is a G-Force GSR. We run an Andrews A431 4-speed in our comp car, so they're very similar, but they are a little bit different. So what we have found is that depending on the track, if you do like big wheel speed upshifts, like if you have to upshift, say at a track like Atlanta, like coming back down the keyhole, you're much more likely to miss a shift or skip the faces of the dog rings, and I'll show you exactly what that means right here. So this is a dog box 4-speed. So what it does is it has two shift forks that slide these back and forth to engage it into first or second, and then that one comes out, and then it will go third and fourth. So these are the dog rings right here. So what it does, when you take these cars and you put the clutch in, you bang it into gear. The banging it into gear is basically the dog rings engaging, and it stops all the rotating mass of all the gears. So, and when you're shifting, you can potentially skip those faces of those dog rings, like I was saying. So the dog rings are definitely something that we need to keep an eye on, because once you lose the taper on the edge of that dog ring, it's potential that it could pop out of gear, and obviously that's a very bad thing. So with these wheel speed upshifts on these certain tracks, it's something that we need to keep an eye on, and the whole transmission has to come apart to replace those. But luckily for us, a purpose-built race transmission is fairly easy to work on. If you look at this thing, there's not a whole lot going on in there, and it's kind of a miracle that it holds 1,000 wheel horsepower in my eyes. Keep an eye on the dog rings. There's a handcuff in the middle that basically holds the two shafts together, so that, because when you run a lot of torque through it, it will start to push those, it'll flex the shafts and pull them apart. So we got a handcuff in the middle. Those need to be replaced about every year. Besides that, man, these things are pretty freaking bomber. That's about all we got. And then once you drive a dog box, you never want to drive anything else ever, because they're the best. Besides the dog rings and then besides the handcuff once a year, that isn't that big of a deal. In between every single round, we swap the fluid in the transmission. And you'll notice that with these dog engages, especially if you zing the faces of those dog rings, you can kind of get a bunch of metal floating around in there, which is absolutely a bad thing. So we replace ours. We run 75 140 roll purple in our transmissions. We've had excellent luck with it. So every single round, differential, transmission, and engine all get brand new fluid. So that's definitely pretty important too.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Drift Prep.
And let's get back to the action.
All right, welcome back to Worldwide Technology Raceway. I'm Jared Dienda, and joining me in the booth is a gentleman who had a great qualifying round, so he can join me, and he has throughout the season. Not most recent winner, but 2 rounds ago in a very wet Orlando, this gentleman took the top spot in a very precarious, in what we'd call the wildest event we've ever had. Dylan the Dozer Hughes, congrats on not only your win in Orlando, but also where are you at right now? Where did you land? Let's turn on your microphone.
Yeah,
That's
right.
how
That helps. I think we did P3. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Stoked on that. So we were sitting first for a little while, and then we had JTP come by. He got a 90, and then Kazuya ended up with a super killer run. He ended up with a 91. So top 3. I'm hyped.
What do you think of this course?
I think it's interesting. It's fairly, you know, my first thought when I did my first lap yesterday on it in a year, I ran the track and I was like, boy, this is a lot of car for this track. It's kind of what it felt like. Just because I think that it's just technical. It's much more technical than people may believe, and it looks like one thing from the camera view, but it feels completely different in the car. Another thing that I noticed was on outside zone 2, since we did get rid of that inside clip, I noticed that you have way more time to be on throttle through the end of outside zone 3, and then that means that I have a really hard time slowing the car down to make that radius on outside zone 4. So that's kind of what I've been struggling with all weekend, trying to stay within what the judges want. Ideally for me, I would like to slow down going driver's side and then transfer, still decelerating on the passenger side. So I've been fighting that a little bit, but I think we got it pretty well figured.
I like it all outside zone. If I can recollect here, over the 19 years that we are now in competition, I don't think we've ever had an all outside zone course. So I think this is kind of history in the making, flowy, and you could see indicative of what you're talking about. Look at outside zone 3. Look at the rubber being laid down. It eliminates or minimizes, and then it goes back right to it.
Right.
And with that jutting out, we were talking about it, you know, a couple people have gotten on the wall, but I think, will that wall play a role in head-to-head tomorrow going to outside zone 4?
Yeah, I think it always does, man. And this is what's kind of weird is this particular track, you see that we're fighting the radius of that. Usually when we go to a bank track, you're running the radius of the wall, which is good.
Goes
in this
away
track,
from you.
Right, it's backwards, right? It's kind of like you're like touching the tip at the very top of the rainbow, you know what I
Yep.
mean? So the problem with it is that if you transfer too early on outside zone 3, you get kind of boxed in. It's either like bash the whole back of your car off and like square off outside zone 4, or you kind of got to like run that outside 3 super late. Then you can transfer and whack that thing in there and then run that radius on outside 4 just right.
So we're talking about the track here today, but you're a very busy man, and you know you got Lemon's car build, you got multiple different things. You rebuilt your E36.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. So we took that thing out to Grid Life, representing Permatex and Falcon Tire, and we had an amazing time at Grid Life, and it was great. So that poor little
Had a
36.
terrible time. It was such a terrible time on and off the track. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking
right.
because we
Yeah, right.
partied our face off and had a great time. But the driving is always great.
The
But
driving
yeah.
was unbelievable, and that motor in that car is a 200,000-mile completely stock motor, and I ran that thing harder than I've ever ran any drift car ever in my
Really?
life. I could not believe it made it to the end of the weekend, and on the very last lap of the very last session, it finally bent a valve. So yanked the motor out. I'm getting one built. It's in LA right now, and then I figured this is a perfect time to give it some upgrades before Grid Life Colorado.
Cool. Yeah, and that'll be Alpine Horizon Festival, which is a great event. So help us call this next battle. Next battle, but our qualifying. This is a not-so-great 8. Would love to hear. I'll wrap out about it, and then you can elaborate on Odi Bakshis, who's
crazy.
How he's here. I just talked to his wife, who's a spotter. She said they turned off the nitrous, didn't get it worked out, but here we go. Odi Bakshis, Falcon Tires, Field Suspension, S15, now coming to that second outside zone. Let's see if he can get the not 3 bottom spot in order to make it into head-to-head competition. Now into that 3rd outside zone. Looks like the sun is shining right on him into that final outside zone. Odi Bakshis. That's what we expected on his first run. Howie's here again. His wife said they turned off the nitrous, didn't get dialed. She says now we got it dialed, and right there, proof positive.
Yeah, that was good. That was super good. He was looking solid everywhere. A little bit surprised by his straight line initiation, but he handled it no problem. Outside zone 1 was sick.
Yeah, just right into it. Go ahead and call it. What do you see?
So nice and wide there. A little bit throwing the angle, quick transfer right there at the wall, deep in that zone, almost over the white line, which is a really scary part of the track. Of course, bringing it out nice and wide, about 6 inches off the edge of the concrete there. Transfer around. Yeah, nice and wide. Really good.
Yeah,
I think he could have snapped it just a tiny little bit harder at that wall, but again, I truly believe that is because the outside zone on outside zone 2.
Oh,
but I
2
think you
to
have
3?
so much speed going around 3, you can't really snap it as hard as you want. I'm telling you, it's like the weirdest thing. Just
so
because
it's almost like 2 to 4. 3 just happens to be there.
3's just there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And that's your assessment. You're a driver. You're P3, as you said. So look at Odi Bakshis. So there it is. So initiating into 2.
See, watching he's wide open. He's hauling the middle.
Whack.
Keep going.
And then bingo.
But see, you need to duck back in that pocket at the very beginning of outside 4, which is very tough to do when you are hauling the mail around outside 3.
And what's interesting there is, the white wheels are always just stand out, right? So it's blatantly obvious if you make corrections. It's always impressive to just lock and load, right? So keep it settled, and that's what Odi did there. But if you're offline a little bit, you got to give a little, give a little milk of the udders.
Give it a little wobble.
Yeah, give it a little wobble. So an 81. Can't do any higher than, again, do the math. We got 35 minus 8. What's that? It's 35 minus 8. And there we go. So an 81 for Odi Bakshis. And so, can't do any better than 28th or higher. So we will see where they're at. Dylan, what other projects you working on, man? I know you got the flat out. What else? You're going to the Bonneville.
Yep, going back to Bonneville. So actually, that motorcycle is in a U-Haul truck right now at our shop, and that thing is going to be going to Las Vegas. What is that? Tomorrow, I guess. And then I'm going to drive straight from here after this event, go straight to Vegas, spend 2 days in Vegas, and then we finally get to go home after almost 2 weeks. So yeah, stoked.
All right.
Rad Dan
Burkett, Rad Industries, Gear Wrench, Toyota Supra. I cursed him earlier. Right now, he's just gonna get a run. Let's just call it that. He's gonna complete the run. We'll see where he lands. Dan Burkett in that second outside zone. He spun on the fourth, and he's gonna continue on. A little wobble there into that third outside zone. He talked about that flow into that final outside zone. Just kind of dips it in. Not so much a belly flop like you did last night at the hotel for $5, Dylan Hughes, but that's just putting your toe in. Would like to see more belly flops this evening for $5 per belly flop. Was that the story? We'll get into that in a little bit. Well, let's just build up the suspense here. Talk about Rad Dan's run here.
Sweet. So snappy initiation, nice and wide on one. Good transfer. That's looking good. Well into the zone. He hits the throttle, and that kind of pulls him off that wall a little bit, but he recovers nicely. Good into outside three. Could have been a little bit wider, but still good. Good angle, nice snap, and then he kind of comes out and then almost dips back in towards the end of the track. So not perfect, but still a pretty good run by the man RD.
All right, Rad Dan Burkett does get a score after an incomplete on his first run. We'll see if he gets into one of those 5 spots. Again, 3 of these 8 drivers are not going to be running tomorrow. So the belly flops, what happened?
Yeah, so we were at the pool last night at the hotel, and there were these couple of younger kids that were there, and we're like, all right, boys, here's the deal. Best belly flop gets $5.
Oh, I thought it was per belly flop. I got the text with the videos.
These kids put it all on the line. I'm telling you.
Really?
At first, they were like, nah, dude, we're not doing that. And then we're like, what? It'd be so cool.
$1, $2, $5.
Yeah, $5 for the winner. And then all of a sudden, they were just fully swan dive to belly flop. It was so impressive. And actually, the kids are here today, so we actually saw them in the pits and gave them a couple T-shirts.
Awesome.
So that was really cool.
That's cool. They're just more T-shirts to help soothe the pain of their bellies. Well, hey, man, anything else you want to add? A 73 there for Dan Burkett, a 73 for Dan Burkett. Anything else you want to add into all your antics? You're driving, flying, ripping, gripping, 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 1 wheel. What else you got?
Yeah, man, we're stoked. I just love to be busy and just really stoked to have awesome partners that help us out along the way. So can't wait for Lemons, can't wait for Bonneville, can't wait for Grid Life, can't wait to finish out FD, and we're all around stoked.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Driver of the Royal Purple, O'Reilly Auto Parts BMW P3 as it stands right now unofficially, but Dylan the Dozer Hughes, again, winner at round 3 in Orlando. We'll see him tomorrow, head-to-head competition here at round 5 of the Formula Zero Pro Championship. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Thanks, Jared.
All right, bro. Peace. All right, as we see Alec Robbins back up on the start line, we'll see if he can produce a score again as he received an incomplete he had a 70 on his first run. So he does have a score, but he does need to better it. Remember, 81 and 73 ahead of him, and oh no! That will be an incomplete for Alec Robbins. So a 70 and then an incomplete. Again, we will see, will a 70 beat the other score? So it's the best of 2. So right now we have, like I said, Odie Bakshis with that 80. We have a 73 from Dan Burkett. And then now a 70 because Alec Robbins had a 70 on his first run. So, so Mohan with a 71. Yeah, so we'll see if, we start getting... And we are going to see if Alec Robbins, his score will better the other drivers. Here's the Hyper NFT Dodge Viper. We saw Dean Carney go through his own brown cloud earlier, and sometimes it happens up here in the box where the cloud will make its way all the way up here sometimes. And the Pedal Commander Burnout box is being utilized by Dean Carney, taking from the real world to the metaverse. Ryan Lontaine back up here in the announcer's booth. Some great insight there from Dylan Hughes. 3 drivers of the 8 have completed their second runs. Always love seeing the Viper. I like the kind of menacing black with the bronze wheels and the Hyper NFT.io logo standing out.
Yes, sir. Looks good. Let's see if he can put together a good run here that is going to represent the look of his car in the proper way.
Dean Carnage Carney on his second run, do or die. Carnage and his team working hard all day yesterday. Perfect on that first outside zone, into the second outside zone. Big angle there, minimal corrections. And I like the insight that Dylan gave us. You know, you have to really link it almost from 2 to 4. And, oh, looks like he just kind of goes a little hard into it. You saw he got that back right corner in, pulls out of it. Want to see this different angle here on that final outside zone 4.
All right, so looking at Dean Carney's initiation here, nice snap to angle, great line through outside zone number 1. That was really nicely done. Not as deep as he could be in zone 2, but pretty good. Right there, kind of a lack of momentum and a lack of angle as well, but then pours it on here as he transitions. A little wall tap right there, and then it sends him offline, unfortunately, through outside zone number 4. He doesn't quite fill it the way that we'd like to see. So let's look at it from some different angles here. Watch the right rear tire right on that line. Beautifully done by Dean Carney through outside zone number 1. As he transitions for 2, could have been a little bit deeper there, but looked pretty solid. But right there is where that sort of momentum died off a little bit. And then as he goes towards zone number 4, you can see that little wall tap there, and then he doesn't quite fill outside zone number 4. Let's look at zone 2 again. So he did not get as deep as we'd like it early, but didn't do bad in the second half of that zone right there. And then post 4 is where we really is going to lose some points on line for sure.
And Dean Carnage Carney, Castro pulling up to the line. And Castro having those steering issues, and we saw his team, and 75, a 75. So that'll definitely help Carnage, but that does not help Alec Robbins. We are saying bye to 3. We're saying goodbye to 3 drivers. So Bakshis, I feel confident in the 81 holding firm. Carney jumps up to second. Dan Burkett, that's his run. Mohan was 71. He needs to better that. And Robbins flirting on that bubble with being knocked out. If right now Castro, if he jumps up and scores better than a 70, that would mean that Alec Robbins would be out. So if he gets a 71, unfortunately, Robbins is not going to be competing tomorrow. Jonathan Castro, Jordo Metal Dom, Toyota GR86. Leaving the start. Let's see if he's got those steering issues figured out. Seems a little bit hesitant, maybe some reservations there on initiation, but now he needs to throw down. He needs to put down better than a 70 in order to see competition tomorrow. Looked like he's going to take a shallower line there, but dials it in on outside zone 3. That's just such a deceiving kind of angle there. But puts down a good run, kind of ticked all the boxes. Would love to see this overhead view such as that of the replay. Your thoughts, Ryan, here as we're about to see the replay.
Yeah, like you said, he did not, he ticked the boxes. He got into each outside zone box, but I don't think he maximized what he could have done in each one of them. I think we're going to get the POV view first here. So this will give us a good look at outside zone number 1. Look at his right rear tire, not all the way out wide. He's about midway through that box, but we'd like to see him all the way wide there. Same thing here, about midway, tire almost, tire came out of the box early there as well. And then a little bit low angle through this area, but then pours it on through 3. Transitioning here for zone 4. Line suffered again, okay on the angle, but could have been better on the approach on a couple of those zones. So as we look from the sky here, watch the transition here to outside zone number 2. Pretty decent, but then his line suffers a little bit. And then right here, the angle's a little bit lower, pours it on as he gets through the zone. Transitioning for 4. This is where he really could have bettered himself in terms of line through zone 4.
Went through the track, like we said, ticked the boxes, didn't really have the X factor, and seemed a little bit non-committal. Wasn't exactly just full-on Castro that we've seen. And you can't fault him for that after that initiation, going to initiate, or excuse me, his first run on initiation and a 70. So I believe he gets out-styled by Robbins. So right now, unofficially, Castro will not be seeing head-to-head competition with a score of 18 out of 30 on style. And I believe, again, he is bettered by Alec Robbins. So that's, again, all unofficial. We will see. So Odie Bakshis, Carney, Burkett, Mohan. You can see Ola Jaeger. And next up, we should be seeing, I believe, Ola Jaeger. And there he is, the Japan Auto Toyota Supra. See what Jaeger, Mohan, and then Beecham. We've already seen 5 vehicles, 3 more to go. Ola Jaeger initiates. Fairly similar line to the Castro line. We saw that back right getting in. A little bit deeper on that second. Nice job there on the second outside zone. Way deep on that third outside zone. Let's see if we can link it and drive it on home. In that final outside zone, exciting FPV chase run there from Ola Jaeger. I think he really kind of sealed it in, kind of progressively, you know, kind of started just a tire in, then went deeper and deeper, and finally in that last outside zone.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little more confident as his run went along. Yeah, you can see there, not deep in outside zone 1 and then leaves the box before the end of the zone. But 2, you can see much better line through outside zone 2. His angle a little bit lower right here, but as usual, they poured on a little bit through that outside zone number 3. Outside zone number 4, decent job there. Maybe a foot off the outside of that zone, but definitely doing a lot better than he did previously. Watching it from a different viewpoint now, you can see outside zone 1 definitely left points on the table there. Transitioning for outside zone number 2, decent job through that zone. A little bit lower angle through there, and then pouring it on through the end of the zone. So watching again here from outside zone 2, outside zone 3, great line through outside zone 3. Transitioning to 4, decent angle through there, and an okay line.
This very well might even, will this beat out Odie Bakshis' 80, but keep in mind they can't get any higher than 28. 77, so he does not, but I believe that might knock out Alec Robbins. Yeah, so Robbins and Castro, that regardless of their tie, that knocks out Robbins and Castro, so they'll be watching from the side. So Ola Jaeger, Bakshis, so they are comfortable. So Bakshis, Jaeger, Carney, they are in the show. Now Burkett and Mohan watch on, or basically no. Yeah, Burkett, he watches on. Let's see, Mohan and Beecham. So Mohan would, with a 71, I believe he is on the bubble. Yeah, Mohan's on the bubble. He needs to really solidify. He needs to get, let's say, a 74 to really lock it in and make sure that he doesn't get knocked out by Trenton Beecham. Here we go. Kyle Mohan, Renewable Lubricants, Mazda Tricks, KMR. 99 in that second outside zone. Some quick little correction to outside zone 3. Ryan, the question is, you really kind of scrutinized that pointing the wrong way into outside zone 4. Did he refine it a little bit better there on that second run?
I think it was a little bit better. I'd have to see another, see a replay of it, but I think his line was so much better on this run. If you watch his right rear as he comes through outside zone number 1, pretty straight, just a slight flicker. Look at that right rear, right on the white line. Great line through there. Transitioning here for outside zone number 2. Did a pretty good job on line there as well. He didn't get all the way to the wall, but very close to it.
That's great.
Right there, a little correction on angle, but decent in outside zone number 3.
Like that.
Outside zone number 4, look at that line there as well. He really cleaned up his run in a pretty big way here, Jared. This is going to give us an idea from the drone here up in the sky, watching his momentum throughout the track. So seeing where he did slow down and where he did not. As he transitions for 2, you can see that's a decel zone. He's getting the car set so that he can get through that scary wall area. Then you got that little hesitation, little bobble right there. He did slow down slightly early, but I think he did a great job on this run, much cleaner than his previous run.
So Kyle waits for his score just to really solidify. Like I said, he'd love to get a 74. And I think Dan Burkett needs to start kind of worrying because Robbins and Castro are out. Remember the bottom three, but Beecham is a big deciding factor here. Because right now, Beecham is in that bottom three, but if he gets a good score, but Mohan, in order to make sure he's going to make it, 78. So now Burkett is on the bubble. So Burkett is now on the bubble because Castro and Robbins, we know they're unfortunately out of head-to-head competition, but Beecham with an incomplete, if he gets a 74, Burkett would be on the outside looking in alongside. So see that? So Beecham down at the bottom with that incomplete. If it's a better score than Dan Burkett, he knocks out Dan Burkett. And we have Bakshis, Mohan, Yeager, Carney. And is it going to be Beecham or Burkett? That's the question right now. So the K&N knockout qualifying coming down to this. Trenton Beecham, can he decide the fate of Dan Burkett, or is Beecham going to move on? Big, nasty flick, Manji into, and fails to enter that outside zone 1. Now coming in outside zone 2. Fails to get into outside zone 2. Very shallow line, getting outside zone 3. That Clonex next entire, you see a little clutch kick right there into outside zone 3. He is fighting this Ford Mustang. Is that better than a 73? That's going to be a hard ask of Trenton Beecham and his team. I mean, really didn't get to those outside zones. We saw kind of some mistakes here and there. The car, I feel like he's fighting the car.
Yeah, there was some hesitation, some choppiness, let's call it. So the big flick at initiation, but it didn't have the desired outcome. He didn't get into the box at all with that right rear tire. So looking at outside zone 2, barely in it, and then leaves it very, very early as well. So line-wise, he's going to be hit pretty hard here on the line scoring side of things, and commitment as well. You know, in the X Factor side of things, it's not a lot of commitment in certain areas of the track that are fairly important. So let's watch as he gets the car rotated, gets out of the outside zone 1 box very early. So not looking very strong there. Transitioning, gets the car rotated, and then kind of hesitates, loses a bit of angle, gets back on throttle to try to get angle in the car again. So some hesitation there through zone 2. Zone 3 was a little bit better, and then zone 4 kind of in and out of it, but I'd say overall this run was not ideal from Trent Beecham.
Beautiful day, sunny, little bit of rain early on in our K&N knockout qualifying. K&N, the official performance filter of Formula Drift, and Beecham with a 60. So that's how they will land. Dan Burkett gets that final spot. He'll be going against Kazuya Taguchi. Again, this is all unofficial. We'll catalog and make sure all the numbers are right. Dot the I's, cross the T's, or better yet, circle the zeros and make sure everything is up to snuff. But that is the unofficial qualifying leaderboard for our not-so-great 8. The set is right now. You can see our backdrop. The St. Louis Arch off in the distance just across the Mississippi River is where we're at. Madison, Illinois to be exact. Worldwide Technology Raceway. Ryan, some good qualifying. Started with a little drizzle.
Yeah.
But overall, we got to see some good qualifying, alluding a little bit to what we're going to be seeing later this afternoon with our Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship Top 32, and then tomorrow, this is a look at the bracket. Like I said, Kazuya Taguchi versus Dan Burkett. Let's talk about our leaders. You know, Matt Field going against Mohan. Frederick Osbo's got Chelsea Denofa out of the gate. That's a big one. He's currently second in points. Talking about the championship, we talk about Chris Forsberg. Chris Forsberg going against Jonathan Hurst. That should be a good battle. And then Ryan Turk, he says he's going against Joao Berrion, and Field versus Mohan. So, you know, some kind of big biceps going against some, you know, competitors that barely made it in. Again, Mohan versus Field, just barely make it in. But the big one there, Osbo versus Denofa, that's one to watch.
Yeah, that'll have some big championship implications right off the top 32. You know, that's going to be exciting to watch for sure.
Well, thank you so much on behalf of Ryan Lontaine, our other judges, Chris Yule and Brian Eggert, and all our Formula Drift staff, and of course our crew. Remember, join us tonight, local time, 8:15 local Central Time for the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Top 32. We have 32 tonight, and then tomorrow is game day. We have Top 16 of Pro Spec, and of course, Top 32 for the Pro Championship. But join us again tonight for our live stream. I'm Jared Dienda. Thank you so much. We'll see you here tonight for the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Top 32.